All right, y'all. I do apologize. I think we are good now. Do apologize for that. All right. I do apologize for that. I'm about to open the phone lines up now. Hey guys, I'm really sorry about that, guys. Just had a little bit of technical difficulties, but y'all start tapping that screen, start liking that live. I appreciate that. Camden, go ahead and come on up so we can talk about that subject. Go ahead and come on up, Camden. Camden, go ahead and come on up and we can talk about that subject. I'm about to start the live right now. I said the live. I'm about to start up the phone lines. So the phone lines are coming up right now if you guys want to talk about the subject. Do apologize for the slow start. Camden, I went ahead and sent you a request to come up and speak about the subject. You said that you want everybody to give their lives to Christ. I don't see a reason why I should. You come up and tell me why you think we should give up our lives to Christ. Hey guys, I do apologize for the slow start, but thank you so much for being patient with me. If you're watching me over from the Volsy Thoughts channel, if you're watching me from the Bash channel or from the Deconstruction Junction, thank y'all so much for being here and killing those views. So I did invite somebody up. Let's see if they do come up, if they decide to come up. So for us, we can have that chat, that conversation. And if you're watching from anywhere else, actually, that's not the number. The phone lines are open and you can call into that number. I see Gabriel over on the Bash. How's it going, Gabriel? I see Waweed over over on the chat. Keep the chat going. Let's check out Deconstruction Junction. I see Mr. Potter there. All right, guys. So live is now up. Let's go ahead and start it up. Have this conversation. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. Thank y'all for being here once again. Y'all are great, and I want to thank y'all for always supporting me, always supporting the live. Tap that screen, tap that screen. Go ahead and send this out to everyone. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go ahead and have this conversation. Let's go ahead and let's keep talking. Whoever would like to come up, go ahead and come up. I don't mind whoever wants to come up and have that conversation. Like the live, send this out to everybody. I went ahead and send out a request for someone to come on up. One thing I do on these lives, if you say that, you know, you want me to convert to one of these religions, that's fine. Just come on up and then we'll talk about it. Let me know which one of these do you think I should convert to or should believe in. Which one of these do you think I should convert to or believe in, whatever you think it is. Just go ahead and come on up and we can go ahead and have that conversation. We can talk about it and we can see what those reasons are and why you think we should. I don't think I should be any of these, right? So Christianity is the debate is exactly what is up here, the question. Why should Black people be Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite? Now, one thing that I noticed is that a lot of white people do not know what Hebrew Israelite is. So that last one is really for Black people. We're the ones who kind of know who the Hebrew Israelites are, right? A lot of white people don't really know who they are, but we know who they are. Looking nuts. Okay, so yeah, we tend to know who they are. So that last question is usually for Black folks because we typically know who they are. But anyone else can come and talk to me about the first two if you're Christian or Muslim. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you up because log in. I like to actually have the conversation back and forth and responding to comments. So go ahead and come on up and there it is.
Hello.
All right, login. How's it going? Login. Are you at least 18? And are you Christian, or Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
I'm Christian, but I'm not 18.
How old are you?
I'm 14.
Okay, cool.
I
All righty. So yeah, we can't talk to minors on the stage. Sorry about that, guys. I have Deyu's vote over in the comments. Deyu's vote. The number is right up here for you to call in. Yeah, login. I invited you under the assumption that you were at least 18, but for TikTok purposes, you have to be at least 18 because they're really strict on that. All
Hello.
right, we have. Do I call you Mars because that's the name that's the picture you have there? What do I call you?
Sure, that's fine. You can call me Mars.
All right, Mars. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes, please?
32.
All righty. Are you Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
I am Christian.
Christian. All right. Give me 1 second, Mars.
Call from Lee.
Hey, Lee, please hold for me. You're in the queue, okay?
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, Mars. So you said that you are Christian. Why do you think Black people should be Christian? I don't think that we should be because this is the religion of our enslavers and colonizers, and I don't think anybody should be the religion of their colonizers. If you're Irish, I don't think you should be Christian either. Y'all were doing something else before the Catholics came by. So if you're Irish or anything like that, you shouldn't be Christian either. But yeah, why do you think Black people should be Christian?
However, I believe that you should be wherever you want to be because you don't choose what you believe in.
Yeah, you don't really choose what you believe. You're either convinced or you're not convinced. And
Right.
the question then becomes, why should I be convinced about this? Or why should even Black people be convinced about this? Like, why should we give up all of our history of thousands of years of culture and spirituality for this foreign thing that came to the continent by the people who wanted, gold and enslavement?
Christianity supersedes the transatlantic slave trade.
It does, but the way that we got it over in Western and Central Africa, the vast majority of Africa got it through colonialism and enslavement. The notable exception to this is Ethiopia. They got it super early, but in Somalia got Islam very, very early. So besides Ethiopia and Somalia, who got these things like super early, the rest of us got it through colonialism, slavery, or through, like, when it comes to the Arabs, through just trade. But even that was slavery and colonialism too.
Well, we got all knowledge, respectfully, the same as we got Christianity through socialization. When you agree to that?
We have to what?
We got all knowledge, the same as we got Christianity, which would be socialization, the sharing of knowledge by proximity and being around in different cultures and civilizations.
Yeah, sure. Socialization has a part to do with it, right? I'm talking about for like the vast majority of the continent. Like, it was colonialism, forced conversion, things like that. Now, of course, there are people who became Christian just out of their own will. Like, sure, that happened. No one is saying that didn't happen. But like, the way that it was for the vast majority of the continent, it was basically suppression of their indigenous cultures and spirituality, and instilling Christianity into it.
Do you need to take that or?
Oh, no, they're in a queue. I'll get to them next. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the reason I think that people should be willing to be convinced, like, I don't believe in forced convincing. Well, I don't really think you can be forced to be convinced of anything. But is by the rhetoric that all knowledge is shared through social experiences, like the systems, communities that you're in. Yes, all knowledge can be subjected to a negative manner, meaning to help harm you or keep you contained. That's even with science. So it doesn't really exclude you from that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Because it's coherent with all knowledge.
What's coherent with all knowledge?
Your belief system. It goes for, I may be Christian, but I'm speaking for all belief systems.
Yeah, all belief systems. What about them?
Yeah, you should be willing to listen to them.
I have no problem listening
it's
to them.
nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
And
have
once you
problems.
listen, if you're convinced, you're convinced. So I don't. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm not understanding your question.
yeah.
I
If you
don't know.
listen, if you listen to a person, if you're convinced, you're convinced. What I'm saying is that the way that black folks, the way that African people largely got this religion was through colonialism and enslavement. You don't think that we should probably unpack that and see if you actually are convinced, or did you just become a Christian due to your socialization, like you said, and that socialization literally came because our ancestors were forced to believe it.
Oh, you're referring to indoctrination.
Yeah, like the reason that I grew up Christian is because my parents were Christian, right? But the reason that Haitians are Christian is because we weren't enslaved by the French, we're Catholic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the reason why it all the way came down. We should be unpacking that to see why we're accepting this foreign spirituality over our own.
I believe that people should uh, challenge it within themselves respectfully, but should be indoctrinated. Accepting information without questioning it. Is
I
that
agree.
fair?
I agree. And the way that our ancestors got this religion was largely through indoctrination. So we should think about that as a people in a culture, right? Like if our ancestors got this through indoctrination, and we only have it now because it just passed down the line. Let's unpack this to see what are we even doing this for? Because we've already had our entire systems. Is this thing even true? We should be asking ourselves that, right? How do we know this is true? What evidence shows that it is? What raises the probability? You know what I mean? Like all these conjectural arguments that people can come up with, like contingency or morality, like stuff like that. Like, is it necessary for God to even be in there? And if it's not, why do we even believe it? You know what I'm saying? So these are questions I think we should be asking each other, right?
Yeah, you should definitely ask those questions. There's nothing wrong with asking those questions, but don't really discount that you should be a Christian as a black individual.
I think it does, because again, how did we even get this?
Through the same way that we got every single
So
piece of knowledge.
colonialism was socialization?
It's a form of it. It's not a good form, but it is a form of it. Do you know the definition of socialization?
I know what the definition of socialization is, or at least I
Sorry,
have an
sorry,
idea.
can
what
I
it
jump
is.
in?
Not yet. I have an idea what socialization is. Everybody's on the timer, guys. I know what socialization is. I get what it is, but I have an idea of what you're talking about. But what I'm saying is that if you were socialized into a belief, but your socialization was through indoctrination, abuse, and slavery, shouldn't you unpack that socialization?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Right.
And if you unpack it, you're still convinced. There's nothing wrong with being a Christian.
Okay, cool. So what is convincing about Christianity?
What's convincing about Christianity? I believe that there is a God. I take the Christian God to be true because of the creation story.
Every religion has a creation story. Why is that one more convincing?
It kind of concedes with the Big Bang Theory, in my opinion.
No, it doesn't.
It kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
Why doesn't it?
Because it says that the sun was created after the earth, and it wasn't.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Read the passage.
Sure. Let's go ahead and read it. All right, let's read Genesis, right?
Can we take it step by step?
No.
Conversation.
Let's go ahead and read it. Yeah, in Genesis 1, the earth is created on day 1, vegetation on day 3, and the moon and the sun is created on day 4.
That's not true.
All right, cool. Let's read it. Well, if we read it and I'm correct, what are you gonna say?
I can see it.
Okay, so this would mean that you didn't read your own Bible, wouldn't it? Or you're not remembering it right? Because we're gonna bring it up, and you're gonna be wrong.
Okay.
All right. So you really want to just okay, cool. Let's go ahead and read it.
Let's go through this first 7 days.
Okay, cool. You have your Bible with you?
I don't. I do read the King James version though.
It doesn't matter which version you read. All of them say this.
Okay.
Bible Gateway is fucking up. Sorry, guys. Bible Gateway. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, Bible Gateway was screwing up for a second. All right. So this is the New Revised Standard Version, which is the Scholars Version. You said you wanted to read the King James one, right?
Yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Just to let you know, the King James one, according to biblical scholars, including Christian ones, is a very bad translation, but we can go ahead and read it. All right. In the beginning, God created the earth, heaven and the earth. So that was in the beginning. God created heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form, void, darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. There was light. And God saw the light, saw it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day and called darkness night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. You realize that the firmament is a big glass dome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have a problem there. That's not true. The sky is not a glass dome. So right in the first 5 verses, it says something untrue. That's convincing?
Yeah, it is convincing because of the fact that, once again, in the
The
first...
firmament doesn't exist. This is wrong.
Does it say glass dome in the Bible, though?
That's what the firmament is. If you look up what the ancient people around that time believed what the firmament was, which includes the ancient Israelites, who are the ones who wrote this story, the firmament is a glass dome. The firmament doesn't exist.
Does the Bible say glass dome?
No, it doesn't specifically say this is a glass dome. Of course, it doesn't say that, but you realize this was written within a certain culture, within their words, and they understood what those words meant. Mars. I'm talking about the ancient Israelites. The ancient Israelites understood the firmament, or the ancient Canaanites, I would say, understood the firmament to be a glass dome. We know that through archaeological record. We know that's what they believe. And the Bible was written by ancient Canaanites.
The Bible was written by several different groups. It wasn't just one.
Ancient Canaanites are one of them, right?
They are one of them, but they're not. Yes, it's not the entirety.
Yes, and the people from that area, from the Levantine region, what did those ancient people think the firmament was? They wrote it down, so we know what they thought.
But the Bible wasn't from one specific group.
That's not what I'm asking you. The Levantine area, the people from that area, all the dozens of different groups from that area, the Philistines, the Amalekites, all of them. What did they think the firmament was in general?
It's many. They probably thought it was a glass, but it's many different.
Yes, they thought it was a glass. Okay, so the civilization that was talking about Genesis, who were they? Which group was that?
I'm not sure. Which one?
The ancient Israelites. That was the ones who wrote Genesis. What did the ancient Israelites think the firmament was?
I'm not sure.
A glass dome. My God, they wrote it down, bro. Yes, I'm absolutely sure. They wrote it down. The Bible is not the only source that we have to know that they know that the firmament was a glass dome. They have poetry, they have pottery, they have other works of literature. They all describe the firmament as a glass dome. So in the first few verses, we have something that's wrong. The sky is not a glass dome.
See, the issue I got with that is you were wrong about 2 things, right? Can you admit to that?
About what? Tell me what.
The sun being created after the earth. That's one thing that you said.
Oh, I didn't even get there yet. Hold on.
You already got there.
No, I didn't. I didn't get there yet. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Neon.
Hey, Neon, give me 1 moment. You're in a queue. All right, I didn't even get there yet. When we get to the creation of the sun, give me 1 second. Just press. Damn it, where is it? I know it's here. All right, young earth and God set the firmament, heaven and light. And to rule over the day and the night, the God divide the light and the darkness. God saw that it was good. In the evening and the morning were the 4th day. All right, great. Yeah, this is where we get to the light. All right, so and then for verse 15, and let them be for the lights in the firmament and the heaven, and give light upon the earth. And it was so. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. All right, so the greater light to rule the day, what is that?
It's just the light penetrating to the earth. Because if you remember,
Hold on. I'm reading. I'm reading
a question.
I'm reading great for, but you're not answering exactly what I asked you. I asked, what is
I'm
the
not
greater
answering
light?
the way that you want me to
No.
answer.
I asked
That's
you.
the difference.
I actually was a specific question. What is the
What
greater
is
light?
And I'm trying to explain that.
No. I didn't ask you what's light. Listen to my question. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. What is the greater light to rule the day? What is that?
That would be the light penetrating through the earth.
The sun?
Sunlight coming through the earth's atmosphere.
So the sun?
Because if you remember, can I finish my statement?
Is it the sun or not?
I would like to finish my statement. I would like to have a fair debate, if that's fair.
Bro, you're just kind of dodging around and moving around the question.
I mean, I got 1 minute left.
What is the greater light? Is it the sun or is it not the sun? What is it?
It is the sunlight.
Great.
Can I finish my statement
It is
now
the sun. Great. So if the greater light is the sun, what's the lesser light?
So you're not going to be a good faith debater.
Yes, I am. We're just gonna focus on what we're talking about. You already said the greater light is the sun.
So
what is the lesser light?
About is
what is the lesser light, dude? What's the lesser light? What is it?
It's the moonlight.
Moon. Okay, great. So the moon is not a light.
The moon has a reflection. What are you talking about?
The moon reflects the light, but it's not a light, is it?
It is a source of light. What are you
talking about? It's not. The moon is not a source of light. The moon is a rock. It reflects light. It's not a source of light.
The moon can reflect light from any substance.
Correct, but it's not a source of light.
I would like to speak now. Can I speak now?
My guy. Okay, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair and give you more time. Let's actually, talk about this and not try to say in a certain way that you think I'm gonna try and trap you. I'm not trying to trap you. This is just basic logic that we're doing here. The greater light, you already said, is the sun. The lesser light is the moon. These were created on the fourth day, right? Because and God sent them the firmament into heaven and gave them light upon the earth, and to rule over day and over night, and divide the light from the darkness. And God said it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So if we read this all from 15 to 20, and let them be lights in the firmament, etc., and evening and morning were the fourth day, it's literally saying that God created the sun and the moon on the fourth day.
No.
So what's the greater light?
I would like to explain. Now we go back to this passage and we look at how great God created the heavens and the earth. The heavens would be the stars, solar system, everything else in existence. Earth would be the earth. It was not formed yet, same as in the Big Bang Theory. The earth wasn't first formed. It had to go through dramatic changes like gaining the atmosphere. Even during our atmospheric times, the atmosphere was pitch black, meaning no light was penetrating.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Which part you lost me out? Respectfully.
You said what? No light was penetrate. No light will penetrate. What are you talking about?
During the beginning of the earth, science and both the Bible describes this, no light was penetrating the atmosphere to the earth. There was no light on earth at the beginning of time.
The science doesn't say that.
Science do say that.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. That's part of the Big Bang Theory. How did we gain our atmosphere?
We gained our atmosphere by water, basically, by comets hitting the earth, and then when those comets were made of ice and they created steam, that steam rose up and created clouds and it started to rain. That's how we got the oceans.
We had a period of darkness when the earth was, and this is researchable, by the way, when the earth was first created, and that's how we got
no atmosphere.
There
was no atmosphere when the earth first formed, my guy. There was no atmosphere. So which period are you talking about in this
There
time?
was an atmosphere when the earth first formed, not
no, there wasn't. There was no atmosphere when the earth first formed. There was no atmosphere.
There was
earth was a big ball
due to our atmosphere.
Earth was a big ball of lava. There was no atmosphere when the earth first created.
There was a period when we had an atmosphere and it's full of darkness.
There was a period when we had an atmosphere and it rained for 2 million years. Yes, that's true. And that's how sunlight. And that's exactly. That's how we got the oceans.
So that's a correlation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. How are you getting the correlation from this?
In both instances.
None of these say that there was. None of these say that there was. It was. Okay. When during the period when the oceans were forming because it rained for like 2-3 million years. During that period, you realize before that sunlight was hitting the earth, right?
There was no sunlight on Earth.
My
Earth
guy,
wasn't even
my
a
guy,
thing
my guy, my
during the
guy, my
time.
guy, my guy. For clouds to form, there needs to be comets and water that hits the earth, right?
Earth wasn't even a thing at the time. The time
right.
that you're speaking about, Earth
All
wasn't
right,
even
so
a thing.
we're out of time, man. At this point, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. At this point, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. We're out of time anyway. Yeah, you have to know. No, Earth wasn't a thing, but sunlight didn't hit the earth. The fuck. Anyway, we're talking to Sammy. Sammy, how's it going? Are you at least 18? Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite? Sammy, you there? You come off mute, Sammy.
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
I'm all right. Are you at least 18? Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite?
I am Muslim 44.
All right, great. Why do you think black people should be Muslim?
Because Allah say in the Quran, and I will translate it to you, إِنَّ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ تَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. We make you different
Sammy,
nations,
slow down.
different color.
Sammy, slow down. Hold on real quick.
Yes.
You're gonna tell me that black people should be Muslim because what the Quran says?
No. I'm still not continue to talk. You don't let me talk even. Allah say in the Quran, we did created you from different nation, different color.
All right, Sammy. This is why I stopped you. before. You're doing exactly what I said. You're gonna tell me black people should be Muslim just because of what the Quran says.
No. Let me talk. When Allah say it in our Quran, we created from different nations.
You're repeating what I'm
colors.
saying, Sabi. Are you saying that we should be Muslim simply because of what the Quran says?
Not the Quran don't come just for an African or a black. It's come for the whole nation.
I get that's
for
what
the color. Quran don't come for the color.
Sam, slow down. I get that's what the Quran says. The problem is, why should I care about that? Who cares?
Because you want to worship God.
I don't know if a God exists or not. And even if a God does exist, how come it has to be from the Quran?
And how is the screen someone creator for you? It's come from the sky. The screen next to you. The screen next to you. It's someone created that screen, or it's come from the sky?
Yeah, of course the screen is someone created the screen, of course.
So who created you? Who created you?
My parents.
God.
They had sex.
I know. Okay. Adam. Let's back to Adam. Who created Adam?
Adam didn't exist.
Okay. Who's the first people was? Who's the first creature? A human being or what?
No, the first creature on Earth was not the first creature, I would say. The first animal was the single cell organism, or at least that's where all life came from, the single cell organism. That was billions of years ago.
So you say that our grandpa was a monkey?
No, our grandfather was not a monkey. No, that's not what I said.
So what you want to say? So from where we come?
From like human beings. We evolved from prior organisms.
Who created the first human being?
No one created the first human beings.
All from.
Hold on.
So from where we come?
Hold on. 360. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right back with you. Thank you so much. All right, you're asking about where do we come from, right? Do you understand what evolution is? Correct? Do you understand what evolution is?
Yeah, we understand it, but
great. So you understand what
you
understand what evolution is? That's where human beings came from. We evolved from prior organisms. Human beings we're in the animal kingdom. We're in the ape family.
My friend, the human being is a human being. The monkey is a monkey. The dinosaur is a dinosaur.
No one denies that. No one denies that, Sam. No one denies that, Sam. Sam. I didn't say. Sam, I didn't say that we're monkeys or that we're crocodiles. I said that we're in the ape family. When it comes to classifications of animals, which humans are, we're part of the ape family. We're in that family. We're in the same family as chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans. We're in that family.
No. The chimpanzee is 1,000 times different, genetic different from the human being. Stay far from all that nonsense. Who created the first? Who's the good engineering to create you? Who created your glass? Or your glass come from the sky? You idiot. There's someone.
Since you want to go ahead and insult me, we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next caller. All righty. We're gonna move on to 360. 360, how's it going? Can I get your name and age, please?
Yeah, my name is Kyle. I'm 32.
All right, Kyle, 32, Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite.
Alrighty, so you're the dude with that YouTube channel with the talking about religion and everything, right?
Yeah, you Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew, Israelite?
It's kind of a little bit different for me. I grew up a little bit different than most people do, so I'm privy to quite a bit more information on a little bit about every religion. And I've come to some unique conclusions throughout my time, the last 15, 20 years studying religions that I think you might find kind of interesting.
Okay.
All right, so it comes from a few different places that we have to tie everything together. We have maybe 7 different continents, and starting from there, 7 different religions, right? But we need to start with the fact that there are things already on the planet that we can't explain, such as Puma Punku, Göbekli Tepe, Sekse-i-Aman, the Kailasa Temple in Elora. These are things that we just cannot recreate today with our own 2 hands as people, and there's reasons for those. So this is where we get into talking about technology. How long would you say it took us to get to this point in technological civilization within our history that we know of?
Maybe 2,000 years, I guess.
Very, very good. Let's say that, 2,000 years. All right. So it took us 2,000 years to get to this point in human technological civilization. Now, are you familiar with Lucy, the skeleton, the human body that was found dated back to being 3,000 years old in the ice caves?
You talking about Lucy, the one that's found in Eastern Africa?
I'm not sure where it was found. I know it was found in some ice caves. They unfroze the thing, they de-thawed it, and they did some dating and found out that we're maybe a 2,000 to 300,000 year old species is the one I'm talking about.
That one was found in East Africa.
Okay, yeah, right. So we're gonna do a little jumping around a bit before I can get to my point. You put a house or a car in the middle of the woods, how many years would you say before the car itself, all the metals it's made of, turn out into ferrite dust, or before the jungle grows into these different housing structures and takes everything down and turns it back into bark dust, would you say?
That depends. Like, let's say if you put it in the middle of maybe like the jungles in Africa, it's not going to take very long. It'll take probably a decade or so for the jungle to grow around it and basically break down the entire vehicle.
Right. So let's be generous here. Let's say it takes 1,000 years, right? So where I'm going for this is, okay, as a 300,000 year old species, and it only took us 2,000 years to get to this point in technology. Well, judging by the evidence of all these different things that exist that we can't replicate today, such as, for example, one thing, moving the rose gold granite stones off of the top of the Egyptian chamber, those were moved from 500 miles away where they were quarried in Aswan. We can't do that today with our technology. So what I'm saying is I think we've gotten to this point in our human civilization before with the other 298,000 years and surpassed it, allowing us to create things that we can't today. But all the evidence, such as the infrastructure, anything that was made of metal, any technology that would have existed, was wiped out by either giant asteroid, two megalithic floods that changed the face of the planet. I'm not sure if you've heard of Meltwater Pulse 1A and Meltwater Pulse 1B.
All right, let me try to understand what you're saying. You're saying that there was an advanced civilization before us?
I believe so, yes, but it was us. It was people. It was humans. We had better technology than we do today, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, but it was wiped out. Kind of like if you wipe out an ant colony.
Okay, why should we believe that though?
Well, so this is where it ties into the religious aspect of things. So if you because people naturally organize themselves the best leaders, right? Which is kind of what's happened here in America and every other country. You get one dude that's at the top, and if he has, let's say, control over all of the best scientists, all of the best resources, all the money, he can create whatever he wants, right? But let's say that we're in like a Pangean type of continent at this time. Well, you get access to everything, you're going to be able to build the best things. But let's say when these continents, kind of fell apart, what happened was nobody was able to contact one another kind of until the advent of the internet 20 years ago. So
here's the problem though. But the thing is though, Kyle, what you're saying, it will leave behind evidence of us existing back then, like in the fossil record.
Exactly.
And that doesn't exist.
And that's where well, yeah, it does, because that's where all these megalithic sites come from. Pumapunku, Sacsayhuaman, the Kailasa Temple.
Right, but those are not
That is
millions of
evidence.
years old. Pangea is like 500 million years old.
Yeah, maybe, but what I'm saying, but that's
Not
that's
maybe,
part
definitely.
of the whole thing. But what I'm getting at, the important part here is, over the course of thousands of years after these continents were separated, you ended up with seven different stories of who's God, where he's at, and what he was doing. And then throughout those thousands of years, we have the telephone game.
But Kyle,
over that course
Kyle, continent spreading out like that takes millions of years, bro. That's what I'm saying. Pangea was like 500, maybe I'm overestimating, maybe 200 million. I think Pangea was like close to 5 to 200 million years ago. So like stuff like this would leave and like it would definitely take millions of years, because remember, continents only move about 5 centimeters per year. Like it's gonna take millions of years for them to be at Pangea stage.
Yeah, and that could be what I'm saying is united as a people, not necessarily like everybody on the same landmass, but all the people on each continent working together would get far more done as under like a one world government type of thing.
Okay, yeah, I get that. So you're saying that the way our continents are right now, where they're shaped right now, there was a global society like speaking to each other.
Exactly, and they were able, and it was under a one unified ruler of sorts.
Right.
And kind of like the
but something like that,
you know,
Kyle. But this is what I'm saying, Kyle. Something like that would leave some sort of evidence behind, and we don't have type of evidence.
So then, how was Kailasa Temple built, or anything else that we spoke about?
We're not sure.
It wasn't.
But the things we're not sure. But the thing is, like, if people in North America were speaking to the people over in Africa, we would have some sort of technological exchange that we would see on both continents that would only exist if both continents were speaking to each other, and we don't have that.
Well, let's go 2,000 years into the future from today. What proof is there going to be that cell phones were ever created, based on the fact that we have satellites and little tiny bricks we hold in our hands? It's going to be all eroded away and gone by then, if anything else happens.
Not necessarily. We're gonna have the record, basically. Like, for example, you know how humans have been writing things down this entire time. We'll still have that record. Like, technology will still improve after us, right? Unless you're saying like a major cataclysm happens where, like the TV series C. In the TV series C, there is a like with Jason Momoa, like hundreds of years ago, like there was like a cataclysm where almost everyone on Earth died and only left 2 million people, and they were all blind. Unless something like that happens, something like that happens, and even then in that series, they still have like legends and stuff like that of like people who are able to talk across the seas and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like there was some sort of evidence left behind that people were around. You know what I mean? Like metal and stuff like that. Metal and stuff like that was still around. You know what I mean? So
But evidence to my credit, I would like to say, is the idea that the human history that we do have only goes back 4,000 years. But we have, and then before that, it's legend. You have legend of great civilizations 12,500 years ago. We only have stories left at this point, and these giant monumental structures we can't explain. I don't think it was aliens. You know what I mean? Unless you want to go down that route, but I think we did it, and we need to believe in ourselves and take the power away from, and not give the power that we have to help each other away to some entity. I think we should keep it and use that and spread it and appreciate it amongst one another, that we can do great, big, huge things as long as we come together as a group of people working together as a team.
I could agree with that part. I just don't think that we had a global society before that. But Kyle, this is off of what I would like to talk about. So you can call back another time, but I appreciate you calling in. We could talk another time. All right.
Sounds good.
No problem. All righty, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining me and being here. I do apologize for the slow start. Once again, we're going to talk to I'm sorry, let me get their name real quick. Can I get your name, please? Amnesia, is that your name? Amnesia, you could get off mute now. Hello, Amnesia, you there? All right. So we'll wait for Amnesia to answer. All right. So if you're watching me over on the Bash channel, thank you so much over on the Bash channel. You guys are amazing. You guys can go ahead and call in anytime that you would like, if you would like to discuss what I have on the board. If you're watching me over from the Volsi Thoughts channel, once again, guys, thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all over on the Volsi Thoughts channel. You guys go ahead and call in if you would like. If you're watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction, you guys are once again killing these views. I appreciate y'all with these views. Thank y'all so much. The number is on the board if you'd like to talk to me. I'm not sure what's going on with Amnesia, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to what's the name? King Faith. Is that your name, King Faith?
Yeah, well, yo, what up?
What up? All right, King, how's it going? All right, can I get your age, please, and which religion are you part of? King?
I'm 28,
Mhm.
Muslim.
All right, King, you're 28 and you're Muslim. Why should black people be Muslim? Did you hear my question, King?
Natural state men should be in.
All right, King, we're going to go ahead and pray for your Wi-Fi because it's going in and out, and I'm not sure what's going on with Amnesia. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the whole music back on. We're going to go ahead and wait for somebody else to come by. I can call some folks back, as a matter of fact. Let me call them back. Let me see, I had somebody in queue. All right, I'm going to call that person back. All right, we're just calling somebody back, y'all, because they were in queue.
I'm sorry?
All righty, 210. How's it going? You were in the queue. I'm just giving you a call back to discuss. Can I get your name and age, please?
Oh, yes. Deus Volt, and I'm over 18.
Deus Volt, and you're over 18. So Deus Volt, I'm assuming you're Christian?
I am.
All right, great. Why do you think black people should be Christian?
Well, when you look at throughout history, Christianity has been probably one of the biggest pushers for African freedom, and then also for expansion of peace around the world. And I'm happy to explain.
Was it also a pusher of African enslavement?
No.
Yeah, it was.
You mean by the handful of people, humans?
Not just handful.
Who pushed.
Not just handful. Entire countries were involved in this, and those countries were ruled by the church.
Well, you know where the word slave comes from, right?
The Slavic people.
Yeah, the Slav people who were enslaved by Islam.
Understood.
Muslims.
No, not really. Actually, they were enslaved by somebody else. But but this doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is that the church was involved in enslavement. Like the Catholic Church literally apologized for it like a week ago, I think. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It was like a month or two ago. They literally apologized for being involved in pushing the Atlantic slave trade. Like the church was involved, bro. Christianity was involved in enslaving black people. Like the entire Civil War of America was Christians fighting Christians over, you know,
freeing slaves.
Freeing slaves. Yeah, exactly. Well, at least for the
so
South.
You mean Christian people fighting against the South, right? You mean Christians fighting Christians for freedom, and also England, who ended slavery first, who were Christians,
No,
who
they
then
weren't.
pushed down to southern Africa.
England did not end slavery first. Someone did it before them.
Who did?
What happened in 1804?
1804?
Yeah.
Well, give me some details.
The Haitian Revolution, my friend.
Oh, the Haitian Revolution?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you mean all the English ships that went down to fight Africa, which slavery is still in Africa today?
Right. So Deus Volt. England was not the first. Haiti was the first. And they didn't do it on the auspice of Christianity.
Okay. Doesn't change the fact that the Europeans were one of the first, I guess, as far as people, to really push for freedom.
No, they weren't.
Yeah,
black people
were.
Okay, so
okay,
1804 happened. Hold on,
Listen.
I'm not talking about modern times. Listen to
Of course
your logic here. Listen to your logic here. Black people in Haiti were the first ones to abolish slavery, and then white people followed them. But you're giving the credit to England, who did it after Haiti. That makes no sense. Black people in Haiti were the ones who did it first, and they didn't do it on the auspice of Christianity. England followed. Hold on. England, France, and America followed because they saw that if the Haitian Revolution were to spread, Black people around the world would get very, very violent and start killing all the white people, and they were scared of that. As a matter of fact, American politicians at the time were saying that they were afraid this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was Haiti that did it first, bro.
I want to read on it. Who said that?
Let me find it. Give me a second.
And I'm honestly asking because I want to read on it. Honest question.
All right. So the Haitian Revolution about in the time.
Not that I want England. I want American politicians who are saying it.
Yeah. Thomas.
Or English. I'm cool with either one.
Yeah, exactly. There was let's see. Give me a second. There was Thomas Jefferson. And there was Southern slaveholders as well. That viewed the upright, like Thomas Jefferson was very alarmed by it, and it was very, very divisive. So Thomas Jefferson was against it. Alexander Hamilton was more pragmatic. They were saying something more along the lines of just let it happen. Let me see. Thomas Jefferson viewed it with deep anxiety. Let me see if I can find a quote. Give me a second. If I can find a quote, and then I'll give it to you. But the American politicians around that time were not very in favor of it, especially the ones in the South.
Well, of course. I mean, that's where the majority of slavery was.
Right, exactly. But my entire point is that Haiti is the one that kicked this off. It wasn't the Europeans.
I know they kicked it off, but who's the one who actually ended it?
Who actually ended like global slave trade?
That's still happening. As far as on the West, it was Christian white men.
No, Haiti's the one that was it. The only reason that they did it is because they didn't want the Haitian Revolution to spread. It's the only reason they did it.
I would have to just find supporting evidence of that.
Okay,
I would have to find someone saying that we're ending this because we're worried about
Let me ask you a question. When the Haitian Revolution happened, how did America get the Louisiana? How do you think they got it?
Well, they bought it from the French.
Why?
Right.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. I'd be happy to hear what you got to say on it.
Because France was selling it, right? Why did France need to sell it? France needed to sell it because of the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution made slavery so unprofitable for France, they had to give up their American territory. So when and around that time, because France was dealing with its own revolution at home, Napoleon had to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and Napoleon didn't have nice things to say about the revolution either. He didn't have nice thing to say about it because he was also racist. But like the people, like the European empires around that time, they saw how unprofitable slavery would be. Not to mention the fact that there was already, abolitionism rising as well. So it wasn't just like, we saw we're doing this at the good of our hearts. Well, at least for the abolitionists. The abolitionists were the good of their hearts. But for the empires, it was like, this is unprofitable now. That's why they ended it.
Well, I also have to admit, I'm fair to this. I think even Abraham Lincoln said at one point that if it was just slavery, we'd give him that.
Yeah.
I think Abraham Lincoln even said that. I think you can find a quote on it.
Yeah, he said if he can keep the Union together and not free any slave, he would do it.
Right. I'm pretty sure there's a quote exactly saying something like that.
Right. Exactly.
But
now we know that slavery still happens.
Of all men are created equal, though. It all came off the aspect, and that's kind of how they pushed it amongst the people. Because I'm Irish, and when you look into the history of the church, and you look into the history of what the Irish people believed prior, the pagan religion before that, there was a mass movement that really had to do with Vikings dominating people and the people being peaceful and them realizing, hey, there's actually something to this. It wasn't so much like, they had a whole rebellion that went through and Now, England, the whole other thing, but as far as the religion itself, that wasn't a big push.
I'm really glad you brought that up. I don't think you should be Christian either, because
Okay,
you were also colonized. Yeah, this is also the religion of your colonizers. I don't think you should be Christian either.
And I would disagree, and I'm going to give you the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I think we disagree because it brought the modern West. It pushes for freedom. All right, it pushes that the idea that all men are created equal. It pushes off the idea that even if you're brown, I'm white, whatever the case may be, that we're still all the children of God. And it pushes for that communion between us no matter what. Without that, right, skin color is obvious. We are a group of animals that pretty much go through and dominate each other just off the most simplest of things. So having a strong religion that's backed by, you could say proof. I would say proof. We have more history, about the same history as we do for early Rome, as we do for Christ, as far as writing. So it's.
All right, but
I think it's absolutely necessary.
I think there's several issues here, because all men created equal came from John Locke and Enlightenment principles, not Christianity. Like the Enlightenment was actually like criticizing a lot of Christianity. Yeah, I mean, like we like if it was all men created equal came from basically came from the Bible, like the entirety of the Middle Ages, we wouldn't really see the Middle Ages be what it is, right? Because feudalism was a thing. There was no equality in feudalism, so they didn't really believe all men created equal. Yeah, I mean, like it didn't really come from Christianity; it came from the Enlightenment.
I would argue that Islam was one of the biggest pushes for what happened instead of the Middle Ages, and you find out what they teach in Islam as far as having slaves and being able to
free them,
to take women who are married,
right?
That keep them as their wives, their slaves.
But there's not only does that exist in the Bible, but in Islam they actually say it does. In Islam it says to free slaves. But the other thing that I was gonna say is that the Crusades, no, it doesn't. The Crusades was not all through the Middle Ages, right? The Middle Ages was like at least 1,000 or 1,500, 1,700 years, right? So the Crusades wasn't through the entire Middle Ages. Like, and feudalism existed throughout the entire Middle Ages. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of confused here. Like, all men created equal did not exist through the entire Middle Ages. That came out during the Renaissance, during Enlightenment principles. Yeah, I mean, it didn't. If it's brought it up from Christianity, how do you explain the Middle Ages? Like that would be that won't make any sense.
Well, I mean, if you look back in Rome was one that even though if you were born Roman, you had Roman rights because you were Roman, but they didn't care what color you were. Right?
Yeah, of course, they didn't care what color you were. Yeah, Rome was basically not homogenous like the chuds would say today. There were plenty of black folks and Middle Eastern folks in Rome. Yeah, I agree with that. But even they didn't have all men created equal because they had slavery. I mean, so it's just one of those things when it comes to the West, ushering in the West. Yeah, I'm not gonna say Christianity played no part. It did play a part because a lot of the science and math. Yeah, a lot of the science of math. Yeah, a lot of the science and mathematics came from people who were in the church. Like, I'm not denying that Christianity played a part, but what I'm saying is like Christianity being responsible for the West is kind of ridiculous, bro. What's responsible for the West is Enlightenment, really.
No, a lot of the laws that we have written came from Christianity.
No, they came from the Enlightenment and the Magna Carta.
Of Christianity, right?
No, Magna Carta is not about Christianity. The Enlightenment didn't come from Christianity. The Enlightenment was a criticism of Christianity.
So if you're telling me that if I go back and I read the early fathers of the church, a lot of them weren't Christian pastors who had Christian values.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Who wrote in that all men were created equal.
Who are you talking about? I'm sorry. Who are you talking about? I'm sorry. Clarify that for me real quick. Who are you talking about? They're talking about the founding fathers of America?
Let me look up. I think Thomas Jefferson said And a lot of the early, if I look right now, how many?
Yeah, a lot of the early founding fathers were
early-
Christian. No one's denying that, bro.
Well, there you go. Because a lot of our laws came from Christianity.
No,
The
a lot of
rest
our
is
laws came from
Christianity.
enlightenment, not Christianity. They were written these.
Okay,
We're
so
writing
if I
these
look
laws.
it up, they're not going to say God. They're not going to reference Christian values
Hold on.
inside of their writings. Of
No.
laws, right?
Not all of them. You realize we have a lot of
Majority of
founding
them, the
fathers, right?
majority.
Hold on. We have number one. We have a lot of founding fathers. Number two, yes, we understand that many of them, probably even the majority, were some sort of Christian. But when they were
They were.
writing the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, it wasn't based off Christian principles. It was based off
Incorrect. They
the
brought up God.
it was based off the Enlightenment. Yeah, they brought up God, but not the Christian God. They said our Creator,
What other God if they were Christian?
because a lot of them were deists, weren't they? So they weren't just talking about the Christian God. Like half the founding fathers were
But the
deists.
majority of them are Christian.
Yeah, some of them were Christian, and like
The
in a
majority.
sizable of them amount of them were deists.
A sizable, not the majority. The majority were Christian, and they believed in Christian laws and Christian values.
If they believed in
And that
Christian
passed
laws and
into the
Christian
West.
values, America would be a theocracy, and it's not.
So we don't when I want to make sure I understand. So when judges, when presidents are put into office, they don't swear on what?
They swear on the Bible because they're Christian.
Oh,
But hold on,
yes,
hold
no,
on. Deus vote. Calm down. They only do that because Deus vote. You got to calm down. If we were to elect a president who was Muslim, what will he swear on?
Well, the saying would be the Bible.
No, he was swear on the Quran. Because guess what? They're in
That would be a
public
terrible
office.
mistake.
No, I'm not mistaken. People swear into
that
public
would be
office.
terrible.
Hold on, listen. People swear into public office all the time. The Bible is not a necessity for you to swear in public office. Not. Because that would break the Establishment Clause. So if we were to elect a president who was Muslim, he would swear on the Quran, just like all of the mayors and the what's the thing they call it again, the state representatives and the district representative, that congressional members who are Muslim, they don't swear in on the Bible, they swear on the Quran. Like we have congressional members who are Muslim.
Yeah,
They
we
swear
do.
in on the Quran. They don't swear on the Bible. So if one of them became president, they will swear on the Quran, not the Bible. Like the Bible is not necessary for you to swear in on. If we were to elect someone who was an atheist, and we actually have had congressional members who are atheists, they don't swear in
We
on
do.
anything. It's basically just a promise. They don't swear on anything. So it's like saying like trying to make the Christianity like the foundation of America, and everything has
Which
to
it
be
was.
based off the Bible. No, it's not.
It was.
How are you supposed to treat your Tripoli?
That's a good point. I would say the majority of our history throughout the church, throughout the West, has all been centered around Christianity. All right? Majority of our laws, majority of what we understand of how we should treat people come from Christianity.
It doesn't,
Now,
bro.
if it was, it does. It
Okay.
does.
So you're saying before Christianity, people didn't know how to treat each other nice?
I would say that if you look into how the Native Americans treated each other inside of the United States and inside of this area, absolutely. They would pillage each other, kill each other. There was, they
Did
would
that
take each
happen
other's lands.
in the Middle Ages in Europe?
It sure did, as Muslims
Okay,
would go
so-
through and sack
No. I'm
Christians.
talking about Christians. Christians didn't attack other Christians during the Middle Ages?
I would imagine there were wars, absolutely.
Exactly.
land.
And they pillaged each other as well, right?
They did.
Right. So Christianity was not necessary for them to not know that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like when you say that the Native Americans used to pillage and rape each other, everybody did that.
Everybody did. Yep.
Yeah, including Christians.
Just as everyone
So
owned slaves,
Christianity is not
and
necessary for us
Christianity
to
was
know
the
how
ones
to
to end slavery.
Christianity was not necessary for us to know how to treat each other. Because despite them raping and pillaging and going to war, when there wasn't war, what happened? Native Americans weren't constantly at war, just like Europeans weren't constantly at war, just like Africans weren't constantly at war, right? There were periods of time, sometimes for hundreds of years, where there were no wars, right? So people knew how to treat each other without Christianity.
Yeah, I would argue that Christianity has been a pillar of light for a very long time, has spread the gospel throughout the world, and we have found treaties around the world based off of religion.
But do you understand that you do not need Christianity to know how to treat somebody else?
I would say you have to have morals and values.
I understand you have to have morals, but do they have to be Christian? Do you need to be Christian in order for you to know how to treat somebody else nicely?
No, but Christianity sure does help with that.
I understand that it could help some people. I understand that it could help, but do you need it in order for you to know how to treat somebody else?
No, but you definitely, if we were looking at having a bunch of countries or having you named as a Christian, or having someone look for the values to do that, Christianity would be the way.
Deisvald. I'm not asking about buts, and I'm asking open and closed question is yes or no. Do you need Christianity to be a good person? No, exactly. So when we're upholding this as a pillar of something, is we're kind of being ridiculous. That's only my point. You can be Buddhist, you can be Muslim, you can be a voodooist. My grandmother was a voodooist, and she was the nicest woman you ever meet in your life.
There definitely are people who are just naturally very nice. There are. I agree with you.
Great.
But when you're looking at setting up countries, setting laws, Christianity has the moral compass that definitely has created some of the most successful Western countries that people inside of the Middle East seem to just flock to. Same with any other country that is not Christian, flocking to the West because of our morals and our values that held strongly through Christian beliefs.
Okay, they flock to these places because of economics, not because the morals are better.
Oh, so you don't think people have better lives here? People don't treat each other better in the West?
No.
Versus like if you were
America's very racist.
Oh, so freeing slaves while Africa still has slaves. Yeah, that makes total sense. Or if I was in Southern Africa,
why did America free the slaves?
You say it was because of the Haitian
Revolution. Because they were afraid of it.
And I would argue that because they said everyone is created equal.
Why did the South want to keep slavery?
Well, it was free labor.
Yeah, for racism, right?
Well, not free.
And were they Christian?
Well, you say racist, but there were definitely black slave owners.
How many?
Not all of them were Christian.
How many?
There were 1,400 black slave owners. One of the richest being, I think it was William.
And they were Christian?
No, not all of them.
Okay, which one wasn't?
Well, I think he was from France. I think it was.
Was France Christian?
I have to look up the name.
France was Christian, my friend. France was Christian back then. They were ruled by the church. So, like when we talk about these type of things, right? You're saying that these people are moving to these countries simply because of the morals, and it's not really because of the morals. It's because of economic ability, economic mobility. That's why they move there. North Koreans move to China not because the Chinese are way more moral. It's because China has more economic mobility than they would have happened in North Korea. It's not because of the morals. When my parents came to this country back in 1976, my dad was called the N-word right off the plane. It wasn't because of morals. He came here because the economy was better and because Haiti had a dictator at that time.
His name was William Ellison Jr. He was a black slave owner.
Did you listen to anything that I said, bro?
I did. I listened to exactly what you said, but you try to change the subject because you know I'm right.
I'm not trying to change anything. You said that they come over here because of the morals, and people were coming to America in the 70s being called the N-word. It wasn't because of the morals. It's because they could make more money here and they would starve and die somewhere else.
Well,
They
there
know
was
here
definitely
has they know here has
Democrats
more money.
who
That's what they come over here for. It's because of the money. Okay, it's because they want to live their lives. They want to live a better life, not because they know people will treat them better. Because the money's better.
the money's better, and people who recently they just came over here for the World Cup, and when a lot of people came over here were like, "Holy crap, the United States is awesome! Everyone's friendly,
The
they're
white
so
ones,
loving to each other."
yeah, the white
And then
ones.
no, it's
Yeah, the white
Japanese did the
ones,
same thing.
because when other teams came over here, like the Saudi team and teams
Japanese did the same thing.
from the yeah, because they're Japanese. The
Oh,
people that
I
are
see.
treated
So
well,
just because
the people
they're
that
not
are
black,
treated,
I
the
got it.
people that are treated well in America are usually East Asians and white people. Everyone is treated like shit.
That's incorrect.
No, it's
Incorrect.
not.
We
How
had
explain racism then? How explain
Japanese
racism?
had
How explain
the
racism?
Japanese had enslavement camps here. The Japanese
I
had enslavement
know,
camps
and they
here.
don't have it. They don't have that anymore, do they? My point is my point is that using these tourists who are largely European to say that we were treated nicely, but ignoring all the other people who are tourists that come
Japanese
to
did the same
America
thing.
and get treated like shit is a sharpshooter fallacy.
Lies.
How's that a lie? That's not a sharpshooter fallacy.
Because you don't have any other opinion about anything else. You
Okay,
know,
man.
sure you had somebody in the
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Mark, I know you are friendly, so I'm gonna talk with y'all before I talk to you. All right, Mark. With y'all, how's it going with y'all? Can I get your age, please? Unless he's on a call. Hey, y'all, are you there? There
Yeah,
he
I'm
is.
here, man.
There we go. All right, y'all. How's it going, y'all? Can I get your age, please? And Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
I'm 47. I'm a Hebrew.
All right, great. I don't think we should be leaving that either. Why do you think why do you think we're those people over there? Because
Why
we're
do I
not.
think I'm Hebrew?
Yeah.
I'm not over there. We're here. And Hebrew Israelite is the same people. It's two different covenants. So when you put Hebrew Israelite up there, you're saying Abrahamic covenant and Moses' covenant at the same time. It's the same people.
But we're Hebrew. Neither is you.
Yes, I am. I'm from the tribe of Judah, sir. You can't deny my heritage.
You took a DNA test to figure that out?
I don't need a DNA test.
Yeah, you
sir.
do.
I know my heritage.
Yeah, you do.
You know your heritage?
Yeah.
You took a DNA test?
Yeah.
The colonizer told you that you were African?
No, the colonizer didn't tell me that. DNA told me that.
No, the colonizer gave you the DNA test.
No, they didn't.
Who gave it to you?
The DNA test came from a black genetics group. They're black geneticists.
That's the colonizer, sir.
No, they're not.
They are.
Hold on, you saying? Hold on, wait.
From?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Are you saying that genetics is fake?
I'm not saying it's fake.
Okay,
I said
cool,
it comes
cool.
from the
Hey, y'all,
colonizer.
stop. Let's
Why do you
follow.
keep stopping
Hold
me
on,
while I'm
y'all,
talking?
chill real quick. We need to follow the logic here. Okay, you're saying it came from the colonizer. I understand that. I'm asking you, is genetics fake? You already said no. Genetics is not fake. Cool.
Where
If
does
we know,
genetics
hold
come
on,
from
stop. If we know genetics is not fake, why would we then say these DNA tests are fake?
I didn't say it was fake. I said it doesn't come biblically.
Cool.
We know who used DNA.
All right,
Where did DNA come from, sir?
DNA is in our body. What are you talking about? DNA doesn't come from anywhere.
No. Who came up with the method?
What method?
Of using DNA. It's a method behind it.
I understand
it's
that.
A science.
Yeah. It came from
science.
It came from y'all. Chill. Yes, it came from scientists. But just because the scientists were white does not mean it was wrong.
I didn't say their color. You said their color.
You said colonizer.
I never said a color.
You said colonizer.
I said science.
Right. You said it came from the colonizer.
Are not just white.
Okay, cool.
They're not just white, sir.
So okay, they're not just white. All right. So the DNA test that I took came from black geneticists.
So what?
Okay,
you
cool.
Keep putting the
So
color on
all right,
everything,
great. So let's go ahead and move through this. Why should it not be trusted then?
Because they vowed to go against God.
Who?
The people you're talking about.
How do you know that?
Because it's written.
Written where?
In the Bible.
So just because the Bible says something doesn't make it true.
That's your opinion.
As a matter of fact, it's not written anywhere. Which verse says don't trust geneticists? Which verse says that?
It said, that's science. Science and God don't mix.
My friend, you're using science right now to talk to me.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You say so.
What's radiology? Radiology is not a science. You realize
Yes, if you say so.
you realize you're speaking to me through radio waves, right?
If you say so, sir.
No, it's not what I say so. How are you speaking to me right now?
Because it's about your science.
Y'all, how are you speaking to me right now? How are you doing that?
Nobody said science wasn't real.
My friend,
It's
I just
not
asked you a
visible.
simple question.
How
are you speaking to me right now? Are you not speaking to me through radio
I
waves?
didn't say science wasn't real.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
Science.
You
sir.
said
I'm talking
science.
to
You
through
said
through
science
a
is against
phone.
God.
Through
So you said
a
science is against
demonistic
God.
created
Y'all
phone.
stop. Okay. Shut up real quick. We need to actually come to a understanding of what we're doing here, y'all, because we're jumping too much around. Okay. You said that science is against God, and you said that that the people who did all this science are against God because it's written in the Bible or whatever. That sounds ridiculous. So we're not even going to go down that line. Science is used by everyone because, again, how are you speaking to me? What are you using to speak to me? Are you not speaking to me through radio waves? Is that not the case? Yes or no? You can get off mute. Not sure if you know how to use the button, but you can get off mute. All right, we'll wait till y'all knows how to use his mute button. All right, so while I'm gonna get somebody else up really quickly. Name is Biggin. Biggin, you there?
Yeah.
All right, Biggin is there. All right, cool. Biggin, do me a favor. All right, I'm going to. Matter of fact, no, never mind. Well, you're good. All right, Biggin, give me one moment. All right, y'all. I did get a super chat. Thank you so much. Where's Waldo for the super chat? He says, "Keep improving the world, Volsey. Thanks for all you do." Hey, thank you so much for the super chat, for the $10 super chat. You are amazing, y'all. If you would like to send me a super chat, please go ahead and send that. Thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate you so much, Where's Waldo. I do my best. All right, I do my best. I try to improve the world, and we'll see. All right. Only thing I want to spread is critical thinking, but I appreciate you, Where's Waldo. Thank y'all so much for being here. All right. So, Biggin, how's it going, Biggin? Can I get your age, please? And Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
I'm 22 and I'm a Hebrew.
22 and a Hebrew. Okay, cool. I'm not convinced that we're the Hebrews. Well, what evidence is there? This seems to go against all genetics.
Right. Well, first, can I ask, do you believe that the Hebrews are like black in general, or could be?
No, I think they were melanated. They had melanated skin. Definitely, they were darker skinned. I would say that. But us as like black people, not necessarily. I would say they looked more like they were definitely darker skinned, right? I would say they looked more, maybe a little lighter than what the Somalians would be today. Probably they probably around that color, maybe a twinge darker, but I don't think that they were like us, like black people.
Okay. First, I would say the reason I think that it's, well, I should probably answer your question first, because I was going to ask the reason I think it's important. But the reason I think we are these people in the book is because it is, you can see a lot of like Hebrews and slave boats like singing Hebrew songs. Like they were singing like "Wait on the Water, Wait on the Water." Who are these children dressed in white? We got to be the children of the Israelites. They were singing these songs on the slave boats. You can find text of them singing these songs like us, like our ancestor slaves singing these type of songs. And even when you go to the Bible, like Moses' great grandson Pincus, his name means Nubian in the Hebrew. And if you go to that definition, it means the black man. I feel like that kind of matches us of what we're talking about. And I think that identity isn't bad to like, cause I feel like if you can control somebody's identity, you can control their mind. If you can control their mind, I mean, you don't got to worry about what their body does. Like, You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. You see what I'm saying?
Great. Number one, songs like "Wait on the Water" didn't come out till hundreds of years after the first enslaved people came over to America. That's a Negro spiritual, all right, and that was created for people who are escaping slavery to know where to go. So that has nothing to do with Hebrews. But the second thing that I would say is that you brought up if you can like you know this seems to all match up or something like that. It really doesn't. Like, there's no archaeological evidence that we're these people. There's no genetic evidence that we're these people, like, at all. You see what I'm saying? And I agree with you that, you know, when you can control someone's mind and identity, it doesn't matter what the body does. I actually agree with that. That's actually a very smart thing to say. However, you have in your mind that you're a completely separate cultural group that has nothing to do with your ancestors. Our ancestors were in Western Africa in the Niger and Congo Basin, named Oof Oof Oof, and were yam and potato farmers. Okay, that's what they were doing. Like, they were not these people over in the Levant region. That's not us. We already have our own history and our own spirituality and our own like culture. Why take someone else's?
Mm-hmm. Well, when I take my DNA test, I actually get it back here, the Native Americans. And the research was showing that the Native Americans are actually speaking Hebrew. And then
no,
if you
they
actually
weren't. There's no evidence the Native Americans speaking Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
None.
Okay. Even if you search in the Oxford Dictionary right now, if you search the N-word, literally just the N-word, it would say was called like this term was referenced to the Native American people, or they'll say the copper skin colored. But the reason I say that is because I don't believe it's in the Levant area anyway. I don't believe Israel's over there anyway. So
all right, but
kind of my perspective.
Yeah, you can say that, right? But like, that's the term Israel is a Hebrew term, right? And anytime we see references to Israel from historical records, it's always in that region. So why would we say that it's not?
Right. I would say the Bible doesn't support their region, but I don't.
But the Bible mentions all of those regions. The Bible mentions Egypt, Ethiopia, Greece. It mentions Syria. It's all that region.
Yeah, I just don't believe that those areas are placed where they place them on the map, because there's other maps that place them in different areas.
What are you talking about? You're saying there's a map that places Syria somewhere else?
Yes, it's actually places Syria. It's in Africa. It's kind of close to South Africa. You can look up old African maps. It's something called the Princeton University of Maps. It'll come up with a list of maps, and you can see it'll show in different places. But
what I'm saying is that every single ancient map that we have shows Syria near the Levant. And you're saying that there's another map, some obscure map that places Syria in Southern Africa. What's the name of this map?
It's not really, I wish I had the author by my head, but you can really search up old African maps, and then something called Princeton University will show up, and it'll just show a list of old African maps.
That were made by the people in Africa?
The author should be on there. I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure.
We're gonna have to go through a scavenger hunt to find this then, because like every single ancient map of the ancient world, it shows that area being, it shows like Israel, Judah, Syria, Assyria, Egypt to be that area. Even Egyptians place Syria in that area. Like ancient Egyptians, they knew about Syria, right? And Syria was their neighbor. It was nowhere in Southern Africa, because Southern Africa is not their neighbor. The Egyptians didn't even know Southern Africa existed. So
okay, can I bring this up real quick? So let me bring this up real quick. So it's a verse in Genesis. It's a very important verse that says, it was talking about Abraham, and he says it went up and out of Egypt. This is a very important verse because this either says he went up like to the Israel that we see today, right? Or when you actually look at it, the ancient people, they weren't using compasses and maps. They were looking at terrains. And if you look at where it says up and out of Egypt, if you go out of Egypt and into what they call Israel today, it goes down in elevation. Versus if you go further into Africa, it literally goes up. Like he was literally going up. So I don't know what, a lot of historians, like people are starting to find this out, but they were starting to say, well, if he went to Israel, they so-called today, it would say he went down north because that's how the elevation was working. So I personally just think a lot of historians are wrong on purpose. Like it's kind of how the brother was saying before, how like the science today is kind of like science is real, but it kind of goes against what God was, you know what I'm saying?
Let me put this into perspective for you, so you can understand like how the language that you're saying back then, right? The way the languages worked is not the way that you think the language work. Like, because language like that is not universal. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's say I were to say, all right, guys, I'm leaving right now. I'm gonna get up on out of here. If I were to say that to you, do you think I'm gonna be climbing a hill to leave the computer? No, right? Get up on out of here is just our way of saying I'm leaving. Right. So when we look at this ancient language, right, you got to look at the hermeneutics of it. Were they actually speaking about up in elevation or up a stream?
Well, it says up into the south. So if it says into the south, and a lot of people render that down, but when you go south, you're going up. Because it said up into the south.
Right.
So it is talking about elevation.
No, it's not talking about elevation. The reason why I'm talking about elevation is because back then in ancient times, they oriented the world the other way. That's what I'm saying. That's why Upper Egypt is in the south and Lower Egypt is in the north, because they viewed the world as oriented the other way, as oriented backwards. So they thought the north was what we saw the south, and they thought the south was what we thought the north is. Europeans did the same thing too. Europeans thought that the world was oriented the other way. They thought it was oriented where Europe is on the western part and Africa is on the eastern part. They oriented the wrong way too. Like when it comes to these maps, right? When it comes to these languages, you have to understand what the ancient culture is talking about, how they oriented the world. The only reason they said up is because they thought up, like northern Egypt, was more towards the south. It's not because like they're going up somewhere. That's not what it means.
I guess I can understand what you're saying. I don't think you really like put that in the context of like, you can't say for sure that that's the context of what they were talking about specifically in that verse in Genesis. So I mean, but I can understand what you're saying though. Like I guess fair, but I
want to talk about like what archaeological or genetic evidence we have to show that we're these people at all.
Okay. Hebrew, that's an Afro. They call it an Afro-Asiatic language, and I know when you hear the Asiatic, that's where the confusion. But when you see the Afro-Asiatic is originally African, it's originally an African language, Hebrew, for our people.
Right. When they say Afro-Asiatic, they're only talking about like a cluster of a group. That's really it. They're not saying that the language just comes out of Africa. Yeah, because like other Afro, I think Arabic is also an Afro-Asiatic language, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see Afro-Asiatic languages. Yeah, Arabic, Hebrew, Somali, Hausa, those are all Afro-Asiatic languages.
Yeah, I personally just think that they come out of Africa, like all of them. But I understand that. Personally, there's a lot of actually, I don't think going to you want like historical evidence. So I don't pretty much think of bringing up because you don't believe in the Bible. So I don't really think bringing up the Bible is going to really help.
What I'm saying is that you can't use the Bible to then say, because where in the Bible would it show that we're these people? Because you can use those biblical verses and apply them to almost anybody. Yeah, I mean, we would need something outside the Bible because the Bible is not world history, right? Bible is only the history of a certain region, a certain area. That's really all it is. So we would need to look at more than what the Bible says, because the Bible could say something is like, yeah, so like that doesn't show that they're talking about us.
I see what you're saying. I do feel like because you can see like Keturah in the Bible, if you look up her name is burnt incense, and it's in that's found in Ethiopia, where they started talking because she's Ethiopian. She was the mother of what they call the Arabs today.
Who are you talking about? You're talking about Sheba, right? You're talking about somebody else, not Sheba.
No, not Keturah.
My bad. You sound like you're underwater. I can't really hear you.
Oh, my Keturah.
Keturah?
Yeah, Keturah.
Can you spell that?
K. I'll make sure I don't butcher it. Real
Wait,
quick.
I see it. Keturah. Keturah. Yeah, Keturah. Like, okay, what about her?
So doesn't her? I don't know if it says the definition of her name, but doesn't it mean burnt incense? Like if you look at like what her name means.
I'm not sure, but what does she have to do with anything? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right. So she's an ancestor of Zipporah, of when Moses met them at the well and all the wives. And she was a dark-skinned Arab. And she had a father called a Mennonite priest who actually took Moses basically under his wing, and he was basically the Pharaoh at the time. Basically, I'm bringing all this up because this is all happening in Africa. You can prove that these are all Black people, even from their names. So,
but Abraham never existed. That's the thing.
Okay, yeah. Even with that, can't you agree that even when you talk about all the animals in the Bible, lions and all of this, I mean, if you don't believe in the Bible, can't you say this is a Black book though?
No.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I mean,
why would we take it as a Black book though? Because it's like we know Africa is very, very big, right? So even if we were to say that this is maybe Ethiopians or something like that, yeah, sure. Like what we do with that? You know what I mean? Like lions existed almost everywhere. Now lions are only in Africa right now because everywhere else they're extinct. But like lions are only Africa now. But yeah, like lions were in Arabia too, and some of them were even in Greece. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not sure why we would now take this as part of our history. I would say these were darker skinned people. I'll give you that. They were darker skinned. You know what I mean? When media portrays them with European looking people, that's incorrect. We'll agree on that too. They need to get darker skinned people to play these people because that would be historically correct. We're 100% agreed on that, right? But to now make the leap that says that they were darker skinned to they were Black people, like the ones related to us, because think about it, Indians from India, they're darker skinned too, but we wouldn't call them Black people, will we?
Yeah, we would call them Indian.
We'll call them Indian, exactly. So I agree, they were darker skinned people, but were they necessarily Black people? No. Were they necessarily our ancestors? No. And I would say that at the end of the day, we have our own history, our own culture, our own spirituality. Why do we need them?
Our history starts from like the worst part. Like our history starts from literally, first of all, Christopher Columbus came off that boat and started going. He basically,
he went ham. And that's the thing. That's the thing, Biggin. I disagree with that. Our history does not start at the worst part. The worst part is just part of our history, but it's not it's not our entire history. Remember, there were the walls of Benin before Christopher Columbus. There was the city of Great Zimbabwe before Europeans came. There was the kingdom of the Congo, which Europeans said was more powerful than their own kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? There were things like Bakanga, like language like Sabidi. You know what I mean? We had our own writing scripts. We had our own books. There was a library of Timbuktu that existed before Oxford University. We had our own thing going on, bro. Like it doesn't start.
What do you think about From Babylon to Timbuktu? Have you read that book? Babylon to Timbuktu?
Yeah, my issue with Babylon to Timbuktu is that he just claims things and doesn't really back it up. He just says this is what happened, and we're like, okay, where's his reference? Where's the sources? Where's his archaeological evidence? He doesn't have. He just says, "Is this what happened?" You know what I mean? And like, you gotta have to back it up. You know what I mean? It's interesting, very interesting book. I'm not gonna say it's not very interesting book. And we're like, okay, cool. This is all what he thinks happened. All right, cool. What now? What do we show to show that it's true? He doesn't really go into that. You know what I mean?
What if there's a historical figure, like historical accurate figure that's a biblical figure that's like written down the same things that's written down in history is the same things that he did in the Bible? Would you believe that? Would that kind of sway you to be like, or would they even matter?
Yeah, if we have extra biblical sources for it, like I'm not gonna doubt it, right? Like for example, the Apostle Paul, we have extra biblical sources for Paul, which is how we know that he likely was a person. So if there's a Black person that's in the Bible and we have another source of them saying that, yeah, that was a real guy, not gonna doubt that. Like, I'm not saying that the entire Bible is fake, right? We're not saying
Right.
that. So I'm saying that there needs to be an extra biblical source. Yeah, sure. Paul could have been a guy. Even Jesus could have been a guy. Now, all the supernatural stuff is in heavy doubt, but them existing is not really a problem for me.
Okay. That makes sense.
All
That
right.
makes sense.
Big, we kind of out of time. I got to move on to the next one, but come back anytime. All right.
All right, man.
Not a problem. All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all so much. We're gonna get to what's the name? Numbers. Is that your name? Number?
Yeah, that's my name. Yeah.
All right, got you. Numbers, give me 1 second. All right, I appreciate you. All right, so over on a Deconstruction Junction, once again, I appreciate you guys for being there. If you called in and hung up, that's because I only put you on hold. I'll give you a call right back once I'm finished with this person. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching me over on the Bash channel, the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanists channel, once again, thank you so much for being there. Keep the chat going. You guys are amazing. If you're watching me from my personal channel, Volsy Thoughts, thank you so much for watching me on that channel. Once more, I appreciate y'all for being here. And if you want to call in, I will put you on hold just for me to talk to one of the people on TikTok. Okay. Thank y'all so much for being here. Abraham didn't exist because there's no evidence of Abraham. There's no archaeological evidence. All we have is whatever the Bible says, and basically cultural memory, essentially. We have no evidence of Abraham. We have no evidence of Muhammad. Not Muhammad. We have evidence of Muhammad, but we have no evidence of Abraham. We have no evidence of Moses. These people likely did not exist. They're legendary figures, just like Johnny Appleseed. Anyway, let's talk to Numbers. Numbers, how's it going? Can I get your age, please? And Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
Yeah, I'm 23. I'm Christian.
23 Christian. All right. Why should Black people be Christian?
Yeah, because I feel like Christianity is really the true religion, and there's not really like any debate towards it. Yeah.
How do we know that Christianity is a true religion?
Like the Bible says it.
So,
do you have any proof that shows that it's not the right religion? Like,
no, you're the one saying that it is, and you simply said it because the Bible says so. The Bible saying something doesn't mean that it's true.
Why not?
Because it's just a claim. If I told you I had, hold on, let me run this argument on you, Numbers. If I were to tell you that I have $3 billion in the Bahamas, quit your job, fly to the Bahamas, and meet me in Nassau, and I'm going to give you $10 million. Do you believe that just because I said so?
I mean, yeah, no, but
right, exactly. That's how I'm treating the Bible. You just can't say that it's true because it says so. So what?
Yeah, but the Bible's a history book, yeah.
So it's a legend. It's historical fiction of a certain area. Yeah, much of it is.
Yeah, how's it fiction though? That doesn't really make any sense.
Jonah is not a real person. Abraham didn't exist. Moses didn't exist. Those parts are fiction. Like the Exodus never happened. That's fiction. You know what I mean? Now, David and Saul and Absalom and Solomon, them being real guys, yeah, we have archaeological evidence for those guys. Sure.
So then, like, yeah, so if we have archaeological evidence that they existed, that those people existed, then how can you say that it's not true for anyone else in the Bible? That doesn't really make any sense here.
I said it's historical fiction, meaning that they talk about real people, real places. Some of them times they even talk about real events, like the war with the Egyptians and the Moabites. That was a real event. But the legendary stuff they put on it, that's what's that's what I'm doubting. That's why I think it's fake. Like, for example, in the book of Numbers, where Balaam talks to a donkey. Like, you really think that shit happened?
Yeah, I do.
Come on, bro. Think donkeys could talk?
Well, I mean, it's not really. I've never seen a donkey before, so I really can't say.
Ain't no fucking way. Donkeys cannot talk, bro. So that part of the story is clearly a legendary part, right? Balaam could have even been a real person. Maybe he's a wise guy that got really, really popular, and now we have him in a history book. So like, yeah, he Balaam could have been a real guy, but that doesn't mean he actually had powers.
I don't know, man. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Okay. Does New York City exist?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Does the borough of Queens within New York City exist?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Is it conceivable to you that there's someone in Queens right now named Peter?
You talking about Spider-Man?
Is Spider-Man real?
No. Yeah,
No, exactly. So New York is real. Queens is real. There might even be a person named Peter Parker that lives in New York. Does he have spider powers?
Yeah, no.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm trying to say.
Like
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can find real places, real people, even real events within the Bible. That doesn't mean that the legendary magical stuff they're claiming about it is true. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, but you understand, like, for instance, right? Like, if Christianity didn't have like enough truths in it, yeah, then there wouldn't really be a lot of obviously Christianity would never kick off in it. Like
not really, man, because you could say the same thing about Islam, can't you?
no, I can't say that because
but Islam kicked off.
Yeah, but it's not like Christianity, you know, like there's
okay, so something can be untrue and still kick off.
Yeah, but that's not true for Christianity though, because it's Christianity.
That's question begging, my friend. That's a fallacy. You're special pleading now. You're saying that something that's a lie can become worldwide, but not mine. Mine has to be true. You can't do that. Like that's fallacious. You can't say something else that became a worldwide religion that billions of people follow. Oh, that one could have kicked off on a lie, but mine didn't. Special pleading. How do you know yours didn't?
Right, but I don't know. I think that's a bit like, I feel like you're really just like, you just want to be right on your side, yeah. Like I feel like
that's not it. I want you to employ the logic that you're saying here. You're saying that if Christianity wasn't true, it wouldn't have kicked off, became as worldwide as it did. However, there's another religion, Islam, that also kicked off and became a worldwide religion. But you're saying, well, that one is just wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's special pleading.
Well, yeah, but Islam's not really a worldwide religion, is it?
It's growing faster than Christianity. After Christianity, Islam is the biggest religion.
Right, but that doesn't mean that it's like a worldly religion, is it? Like I feel
it's
like
a world religion. It's on every continent.
That's because like there's a lot of people that like leave the area. They like move, but
right.
like for instance,
the majority of Muslims are in Indonesia, which is in Asia. Like it's a worldwide religion, bro. It's on every continent.
The majority of Muslims is in Indonesia.
Yeah, the majority of Muslims are in Asia, not even the Middle East. It's a worldwide religion, bro.
So there's more Muslims in Indonesia than there is in Mecca.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. 405. Please hold for me. I'll be right back with you. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, there are more Muslims in Indonesia than there are in Saudi Arabia.
That can't be true.
Indonesia is like 300 million people, bro.
What's the population in Saudi Arabia?
Like 30.
There's 30 people in Saudi Arabia.
No, I said 30 million.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's okay. Well, okay, I guess so. But still, though, that's not really the same. You know, like for instance, if you like take for instance take Hinduism, right? For example, right? Obviously, Buddhism. I mean, take like for obviously like Buddhism, started in India, but like it's like bigger in China or something like that because they moved like a lot, like the Buddha went through the Silk Road or something like that and spread it. But even though why make that face?
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, even though it didn't start over there and a lot of the Buddhists are in China, that doesn't really make Buddhism like mostly Chinese, does it? Like it's still like mostly Indian, isn't it?
Buddhism is mostly, I think most Buddhists are Southeast Asian, if I'm not mistaken. Like India, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, places like that. Buddhism, I think Buddhism started in India. Let me see. Where did Buddhism originate? I think it originated in India. Yeah, originated in India. Originated in India. So yeah, they're originated in India, and most Buddhists, let me see, where are most Buddhists? Most Buddhists, yeah, are in Asia, with the majority in Thailand, Cambodia, Southeast Asia. Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar have the most amount of Buddhists. Yeah, so it started in India and it migrated over to Southeast Asia. Yeah, sure. But I'm trying to kind of understand what you're trying to get at here. Are you saying that Hinduism didn't really spread out from Southern Asia? Buddhism didn't really spread out from Southern Asia, even though you'll find Western Buddhists, sure, you'll find that, but majority of it is still within Southern Asia. But when it comes to Islam and when it comes to Christianity, it's all over the world. But
I'm just saying, like, it's spread despite being like false. Yeah.
Say that again.
So like it's still spread though, like despite being false. Yeah, like because you said that Islam is like the second one. So like despite being false, like Buddhism still like spread like that. So it's like doesn't really matter if it.
I mean, Buddhism wasn't really forced on anybody. Unless you live in Myanmar. But Buddhism didn't really get forced on anyone. Like it wasn't like Islam and Christianity, where Islam spread through colonialism and Islam and Christianity both spread through colonialism and warfare and slavery and stuff like that.
Well, no, Islam spread through trade. The reason I even got to like Southeast Asia, like South Asia, like in Indonesia.
No, that was one of the ways. Trade. You're correct. That was one of the ways.
So really, that's more violent than the Christian way. Yeah.
Not necessarily, because colonization happened everywhere.
What? No, it didn't.
You're saying that European colonization did not happen everywhere?
No.
Tell me one continent that the Europeans didn't colonize.
Antarctica.
Come on, bro. No one fucking lives there.
Am I wrong though? I'm not wrong. They also didn't colonize Asia, so it's another part.
What's French Indochina then?
Yeah, it wasn't colonized. That's an occupation.
What is French Indochina?
Yeah, that was the French occupation of
and what was British India?
Yeah, that was it's not the same. It's not colonization.
It is. British India. India was what was a colony of the British Empire.
That's not. It wasn't a colony. It was a.
Yeah, it was.
It was a Raj. Yeah.
No, yeah, it was. They were a vassal state, right?
Yes, that's different.
Yeah.
Colonization. Yeah, because if
no,
you're a vassal,
that's colonization.
No, if you're a vassal, that means you're like you independent. You're like you have your own authority, alone. Like
And they didn't. They followed the crown.
I mean,
for you to say that they didn't colonize everywhere because Antarctica has nobody there, bro. You know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Antarctica has nobody there.
Right, but like, bro, I'm literally Haitian, bro. I would know.
Wait, you're British Haitian?
Yeah.
I never met one of those before. So your parents didn't move to France; they moved to Great Britain.
No, they did actually. They moved to France, and then my parents moved they moved to France, and then they moved from France to Britain. I was born here.
Why?
For work. They went, or not for work, but for school, because they want they're artists, so they moved to art school in the UK.
There's Haitian restaurants in the UK.
Not really, but just some. I mean, I'm sure I could find one. It's not really a lot there. I live in London, so it's kind of. I'm sure I could probably.
If you live in London, most of the restaurants are going to be African and Jamaican, right?
Yes, yeah. Most of the Caribbean restaurants are like English, like Jamaica and stuff, but.
So wait, so you there's are there balls up there? Like how many Haitians are in the UK or in London?
Honestly, I don't know. I've never met another Haitian in the UK.
Jesus Christ, bro. We got to do something about that. We got to get the Haitians in the UK together. You speak French though, right?
Yeah, I speak French. I speak a little bit of Creole, but.
All right, cool. So so you could go over to France to meet the Haitians there.
Yeah, I speak French. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you could go over to France. Okay, cool. So you still got a community. That's all I was concerned about. I was saying if you had a community or not, because like it's gonna get very, very lonely out in the UK without your culture being there. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right. Okay. We are kind of out of time, but we'll talk about this later. All right, numbers. I appreciate you.
All right then.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much. Caddy, I'll bring you up next time. I'm gonna give it probably like another 30 minutes. Actually, I'm almost done. We're about 2 hours away. All right, guys. Last caller for today, probably 405. How's it going? Can I get your name and age, please?
This message has been transcribed.
You there, 405?
Hello.
Yeah. Can I get your name and age,
hello.
please? All right. We're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. We're about a few minutes out from the end of the show, but thank y'all so much for being here, guys. Go ahead and if you'd like to call in and speak with me, I appreciate it. Deconstruction Junction, once again, you guys are hitting those numbers. There we go.
Call from
Cameron.
All right, Cameron, can I get your age, please?
25.
All right, Cameron, 25. Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Israelite?
Christian.
Christian. All right, cool. All right. I don't think that black people should be Christian. This is the religion of our enslavers and our colonizers, and I don't think people should be the religion of their enslavers and colonizers. That includes if you're Irish. If you say that you're Irish, I'm going to say the same thing to you. You shouldn't be Christian either. But if you're not Irish, that's fine. But yeah, I don't think that black people should be Christian. Why do you think that we should be?
Can I ask you questions too?
Sure.
Just so I can understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
So like, have you ever heard about like the abolitionist movement?
Yep.
And how like much of that was like white Christians trying to abolish slavery?
Yep.
Okay, so how do you reconcile saying that Christianity was what caused for slavery, but yet there's also people who are Christian that fought against it?
Because it was the cause of slavery. You ever heard of Dom DeVersus? A doctrine of discovery?
Oh, what's that?
The Dom DeVersus and a doctrine of discovery were paper bulls that were sent out by the Catholic Church that allowed basically European explorers to basically enslave anybody who was a pagan, which were the Africans were. Muslim or pagan, as a matter of fact, which a lot of Africans were. Actually, all the Africans were. They were either some sort of Muslim or they were African traditional religion. And the paper bulls said that people who are going out to explore can go ahead and enslave them and force them to be Christian.
So you're saying, okay, so was there slavery before Christianity?
The concept of slavery, of course. But we're talking about like the transatlantic slave trade, European colonial. Hold on. Let me explain.
Right.
We're talking about the transatlantic slave trade. We're talking about colonialism. I'm not saying that, slavery that happened in the ancient Roman Empire is because of Christianity. Christianity didn't exist back then. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like our modern slavery, modern colonialism that happened 200-300 years ago.
Yeah.
Christianity was part of that.
I get that. So, okay. So again, then how do you justify what I said earlier?
What are you talking about?
You just gave an example of Christians exploring Christianity in a bad way, but that was my whole argument. I was saying, how do you justify Christians doing that in the wrong way and doing things wrong, and then look at Christians who did it the right way and wanted to abolish it? How do you justify the two?
What do you mean how justify the two? I can't justify
of the latter.
What do you mean
you
justify?
Just told me what the latter did. I already
my
knew
friend,
what
my guy.
Not
Slow down.
justified.
Cameron, my guy.
Not justified. But
Cameron, slow down. What do you mean by justify?
That was the wrong expression. I didn't mean it like that. You just began your argument again by just giving facts of what I had already agreed to. I asked you to, how do you reason the Christians that advocated the right way to abolish slavery? How do you reason that understanding of Christianity versus the latter?
There were people who wanted to abolish slavery too that happened to be Christian.
That were Christians, right? So
yeah,
how do you reason the two? So
what do you mean? How do I reason the two? There's always going to be yes. Christianity is the religion of our enslavers and colonizers. That is true. I understand that there were Christians who wanted to abolish slavery. Everyone knows that. That doesn't change that the people who enslaved us were largely Christian or Muslim. The people who enslaved us were largely Christian. Doesn't change that fact. So this is still the religion of our enslavers.
Not necessarily.
Necessarily. France,
I mean,
Portugal,
dude,
Spain, Germany, the British Empire, these were all Christian states.
Bro, but this is the issue, though. You're trying to put
Cameron, actually address what I said. Cameron, actually address what I said. France, Germany, Belgium, the UK, Portugal, Spain, these were all powers that colonized Africa, and they were all Christian states, right or wrong?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
That.
So our enslavers were Christians. Our colonizers were Christians. We understand that there were people who were Christian that were against that. All good and well. Our enslavers and colonizers were still Christian.
Yeah. So okay. So can I ask you something then?
Go ahead.
All right. Is it possible that people who may not be the best representation of a religion or a belief can use those things?
Of course they can. Let me
abuse the power.
Yes, of course they can. Let me try to understand
exactly.
Hold on.
Let me ask you another question.
No more questions. It's not an interview, bro. It's not an interview. I know,
but I'm trying to understand your point.
I need to understand where this line of questioning is going. What are we doing, bro?
Okay.
All of us understand this already. It's still a fact of the matter that Christians enslaved and colonized African people. I don't think you should be the religion of your colonizer.
I haven't disagreed with you about that.
Great. So what are we talking about?
Bro, if you just agreed then that people can go and abuse and manipulate certain powers or certain ideologies and things like that, why are you so upset about that possibly being the thing with Christianity?
Who said I'm upset?
Have you not thought that? Okay, so do you believe that Christianity was manipulated there?
No.
At those time periods?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Because the Bible clearly allows for slavery.
So back to my okay. Where?
Leviticus 25:44.
All right, read it. I can't get out the phone call.
Yeah, give me a second.
I mean, you got the computer in front of you.
Yeah, I got you. Give me a second.
Thank you.
All right. As for the male and female slaves who you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you and have been born in your land. They may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over each other with harshness.
Awesome. Okay, now tell me what it is that Christians teach and believe about the Old Testament.
It's the Old Covenant.
Exactly. Okay, so what have Christians or what have Christians or secular scholars said that aren't, biased like people from wherever you're reading all your stuff at? What do they say about the
Bible
Old
Gateway?
Testament?
I'm reading this from Bible Gateway, my friend. Bible Gateway is now biased.
I mean, the Bible.
Sure.
Bible verse. The Bible verse is Bible verse isn't going to be.
Yeah, I'm reading this. Hold on, listen. I'm reading this Bible verse from Bible Gateway. So don't make the assumption.
I never said anything about the Bible.
You said
verse.
I'm reading a biased source. I'm reading Bible Gateway.
Like the subtle. No, I'm talking about your whole argument in general.
What about my argument in general?
Ideologies that you're speaking about come from certain places.
No, they don't. So when we're talking about, no, they don't. We're talking about no. I'm not doing that again. We're not going back to any questions. I need to understand what the hell your point is. Yeah, we understand that that Christians view this as the Old Covenant and view the New Testament as the New Covenant under Jesus. So do the Ten Commandments don't matter anymore then? Do the Ten Commandments not matter anymore?
No, of course they matter, but why do they matter?
So if the Ten Commandments still matter and that's part of the Old Covenant, no. Hold on, wait. Let me finish.
We can get.
If you're going to say, shut up, be quiet for a second. Be quiet for a second. You said that what do Christians think about the Old Testament now? They think that it's the Old Covenant. We agree. They think that the New Testament is a new covenant. We agree. However, there's a problem because you just admitted the 10 Commandments still matter even though they're part of the old covenant. So you can't say
Not a
that
problem,
this
'cause
part. Hold
I
on.
just
You
asked
can't
you a
say.
question and
You
you
can't
said I
say.
couldn't answer the question.
Stop.
All right, you want me to explain?
You can't
why?
say. You can't say. You can't say that this verse in Leviticus is like it either doesn't matter or is irrelevant, but the 10 Commandments are still relevant. They're all part of the Old
Do you
Testament.
want me to, hold on. Do you want me to explain to you why?
All right. Explain to me
Why
why.
the emphasis is
So
different
explain
now?
to me. Explain to me why.
Or do you know why?
Explain
Do
to
you
me
know
why. So explain to me why. If the Old Covenant is not what we're under anymore, why does the 10 Commandments still matter?
Because Jesus, they've all been quoted in the Gospels. And plus, you have to have the proper understanding of what the Old Testament's purpose was. It wasn't the final ground. It wasn't the final ground for the law of everything. It was like stepping stones to get people to be able to see Jesus. The law was to take a very crazy time period. You can look at all this stuff. You want to just throw Christianity under the bus and the Jews for this? What about all the nations around them that were enslaving people?
You're jumping around. You're
All
jumping
the
around.
Babylonian,
You're jumping around.
everything.
Stop. You're jumping around.
All right.
Don't do
No,
that.
this is all part
Hold
of
on.
the
Wait.
point, though. This is all part of the point,
Wait. All right. Hold on. Cameron. You're jumping around. Don't do that.
All right.
Listen,
all
we're
right.
talking
I'll
about.
stay- I'll
We're
stay
talking
on-
about.
I'll stay on one track.
Yeah. Stay
I
on one track.
understand. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get some context.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We're talking about Leviticus.
The
We
Old
know that this is.
Testament-
We're talking about the Old Testament. All right. We know that this
No,
was
because
ancient,
then-
crazy times. Hold on, Cameron. We know that these were ancient, crazy times. The reason why that's not an excuse to me is because
I
Yahweh.
haven't finished, bro. You just cut me off, bro. I wasn't done. You gotta let me finish.
Yeah, because you were jumping around.
Respectfully, bro.
I wasn't.
No,
You were jumping
listen,
around.
Bro,
I was trying to
I have a
follow.
hard time. I'm trying to give context so that you can understand what I'm trying to say.
All right, but I didn't
The
understand.
historical
Hold on.
point.
All right, so Cameron.
Yeah, because
do
you
me a
cut
favor.
me off. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
I got the reason why I cut you off before is because you were jumping around to 3 different topics. I couldn't understand what you're trying to. I couldn't understand what you're trying to.
Just listen.
Cameron,
Okay.
come on.
I know. I'm about to tie
I'm
it all
trying
in,
to
bro.
explain.
I'm about to tie it all in.
Cameron, stop for a second. Just stop for a second. I'm trying to explain where I don't understand you. But if you're talking at the same time, you're not gonna get to. That's what I'm saying. You're not gonna get to the point of where I don't understand you.
All right.
So the reason, the reason why I cut you off before is because you're mentioning 3-4 different subjects, and it's like I couldn't get the context of what you're trying to say. So we're talking about Leviticus, right? We're talking, and I'm trying to get the context here. You said that the 10 Commandments still matter, even though they were part of the Old Testament or the Old Covenant, because they were mentioned within the New Testament. I'm not sure how this connects. What are we saying?
Okay, because then you get the fruit. Jesus comes and he does the law perfectly, right? This is what Christians believe. He came and he did the law perfectly. He didn't sin at all. He didn't break any of those Old Testament laws, and he died spotless. So when you understand kind of what the point of the Old Testament was, or the Old Covenant and all those laws that were there and helping govern Israel, you can't understand what I just said about the reason why the 10 Commandments are important, because the Old Testament laws were there to set up that stuff, but it was like a moral code. So like the Old Testament, like 10 Commandment, like an easy way for people who don't understand to think about it, it's like the most basic stuff ever. Like thou shalt not kill. That's why that's like an objective truth. It is not good to kill anybody anywhere, right? To murder is like the original Hebrew understanding. To murder, it's not good to murder anywhere, right? Not good to commit adultery anywhere. Not good to covenant and be jealous of other people anywhere, or to lie, or to do all these are like very basic things. And then much of the stuff that like you're reading in Leviticus is like how Israel is supposed to do their governing and their law, because it was supposed to set them apart from all the countries around them, because all the countries around them were doing any of the stuff that Israel was doing. It was to give Israel the chance to stand and be like the light of the area, because they were going to do things differently, and it was going to like be a testament to God's glory.
Okay, so a testament.
All of that stuff goes into context.
So let me understand this. A testament of God's glory.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I was trying to piece everything together.
Yo, no, my guy, slow down. So a testament to God's glory is to have slaves?
No, but this is like God knew from the very beginning to the end of how he was going to have to do it.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Like
let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Did God abolish things in the 10 Commandments?
Did he abolish things?
Yeah, in the Ten Commandments, he abolished things.
Like, I'm confused. What do you mean?
There were things in the Old Testament that God said to not do, right? He abolished them. Okay. So within the
So
Ten
did he
Commandments,
abolish the Ten Commandments?
great. Yeah. So in the Ten Commandments, there are things that he abolished. He said no murder, no stealing, no coveting your neighbor's wife, no worshiping no other gods before me. He put that in the Ten Commandments, correct?
Right.
Could he have also said don't have slaves?
So are you asking me, did he abolish the Ten Commandments? And by
No, that's not what I'm
all
asking. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just asking if he just abolished things in general. There are things where he said goes against me or goes against my nature or whatever. Don't do these things. Like just beyond the Ten Commandments, he abolished cross-dressing.
Okay, so,
hold on, wait,
yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk for like 5 minutes, bro. So there were things
Yeah,
there were things
I
that
understand where you're going. Yeah.
there were things that God abolished in the Bible: cross-dressing, shellfish, coveting your wife, cutting your beard, etc., etc. Tattoos too. He abolished all those things, right? Could he have also said don't have slaves?
Could he have also said that?
Yeah.
I mean, but every law was like for a different thing. So you're reading all these.
No.
laws,
I'm just asking you a yes or no question. I'm just asking you a yes or no question. I'm just asking you a yes or no question. Could he have said?
It's not a yes or no answer.
Yes, it is. It is. Could he have said that too?
It doesn't have to be. No, it doesn't.
Okay. Is God all powerful?
Huh?
Is God all powerful?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a yes or no question, right? All right, cool. So could he have said to not have slaves?
The question you just asked.
No, it's not. 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 The context does not help. That's what I'm saying. The context that you gave does not help because you said that God needed to do all this.
No.
I'm explaining why. I'm explaining why.
Okay.
You said that God needed to do all this in order to set up Jesus. That's basically everything that you said. God needed to give them commandments. Hold on. God needed to hold on. Hold on. Okay, so now God didn't need to tell them to have slaves?
He didn't need to do anything.
So he didn't need to tell them to have slaves?
Because he wanted to. Huh?
He didn't need to tell them to have slaves either then, right? You just said that God didn't need to do anything. Doesn't that mean that he could also didn't need to tell them that they could have slaves? He didn't do that either, right?
They would have had them anyway. They would have. You.
I understand that they would have had them anyway, but he could have told them to not. Hold on, bro. Cameron. Listen to my question and actually engage with what I'm trying to say to you. I understand that God didn't have to do anything. I understand that Yahweh didn't have to give them 10 commandments. I understand that Yahweh didn't have to send Jesus. I understand that the Israelites would have had slaves anyway. But could he have told them in the 10 commandments, thou shalt not own another person as property? Is that possible for him to do? You would both know, I know that the answer is yes. So the question then becomes, why not just tell them that instead of giving them rules to have slaves? He's all knowing, he's all powerful. He knows we would view this. He knows we would view this. He knows we would view this as immoral and disgusting today, but he still told them to go ahead and do it. Why not just abolish it?
This is a great question, bro. Okay. Do Christians, can I ask you a question?
You could just answer the question instead of trying to answer the question.
Do Christians, okay, all right, let me answer your question. Christians believe that God is the author of all life. Look up every single time that God brought, okay, so the gospel is for everybody, right? It's not just for you, it's for the whole world. Okay. God loved everybody. He even called the people in Egypt. He even called the people in Syria. At point in times in the prophecies about the Old Testament, how he's going to bring the whole world together. He even talked about the nations that were surrounding, that were doing all the wickedness and killing Israel, bro. My whole point is, whenever the Jewish people, whenever they did the wrong thing, guess what happened? They got judged, and God put them in slavery. God did all these things in that same fashion. God is judging all these other nations around Israel for the wickedness that they were doing.
Okay, so you're saying you're saying that God told the Israelites they could have slaves because he was punishing the other nations?
Partially, that's part of the, well, no, I didn't say that's why he's telling them that. It's partially the reason why he allowed it. But
no, I'm not. That's not what I asked you, though. That's not what I asked you, though. But this is not what I asked you. This is not what I asked you, Cameron. This is not what I asked you. None of this is what I asked you.
Yes. Yes.
None of this
Yes.
is what I asked. Hold on,
Well, 'cause
Cameron,
you were
Cameron,
misunderstanding
Cameron,
the
Cameron. I'm
This is
going to
everything
repeat,
that you're asking.
Cameron. I'm going to repeat my question one more time because you clearly didn't understand what I was asking you. I didn't ask you about whether God was punishing anybody. That's not what I asked you. What I asked you was, God clearly in the Bible abolished certain things: cross-dressing, shellfish, tattoos, cutting your beard. He abolished those things, right? He said to not do them. So, and not only that, according to what Christians understand, God is all-knowing, God is the author of all things, God is all-powerful. So the question then becomes, how come he simply didn't tell them to not have slaves? He could have said, thou shalt not own another person in the 10. Hold on, wait, stop. You didn't answer that. I asked you, why didn't he do that?
I told you yes.
Hold on, no. No. It's not a yes or no question.
And then I said
Cameron, stop. Cameron, you need to stop.
Bro.
Cameron, stop.
Now it's not a yes or no question.
No, it's not. That's not a yes or no question.
You all
asking. Hold on, Cameron. Asking why didn't this happen is not a yes or no question.
All right, go ahead.
My question is, why didn't God simply tell them to not own slaves in the 10 Commandments? So that's what my question was. You saying, oh, it's set up as a hold on, stop, Cameron.
You're not listening to me.
Cameron, because you didn't answer the fucking question, Cameron.
I told you there were laws for certain things, bro.
That's not answering the question. That's not the answer to the question. The question is not about whether there are laws for certain things. The question is about God's action or inaction. Why didn't God do this? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you about another law. I'm asking you, why didn't God do this action?
Why didn't God put no slavery in the 10 Commandments?
Yes.
All right, you want me to answer your question?
Do you know or not?
Or like you said, because it was literally what I had said, bro.
No, it's not. So hold on.
Bro, laws were given.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop, Cameron. Stop, Cameron. Stop. I need you to understand what the question is here. The question is not, are there other laws that exist for another reason? We know there are other laws. Hold on, stop, Cameron. Stop. Listen. We know that there are other laws in the Bible that exist for other reasons. We know that. The question that I'm asking is, God could have taken two actions: telling people they can own slaves, telling the Israelites they cannot own slaves. I'm asking you, why did he take the route of telling them that they can own slaves and not the route of telling them that they cannot own slaves? Saying there are other laws in the Bible is not an answer to that question. I'm not asking you about other laws. Cameron, stop. Cameron, stop. Cameron. No, you didn't. You said there are other laws in the Bible. Bro. Cameron, you said that there are other laws in the Bible for other. Cameron, stop. Cameron, stop. Cameron, stop. You cannot understand me if you're talking at the same time. You can't understand me if you're talking at the same time. You cannot understand me if you're answering. You cannot understand me if you're talking. You cannot understand me if you're talking at the same time. I'm not. You cannot understand me if you're talking at the same time. My question is not about other laws in the Bible. My question is about God's inaction. He could have told them to not own slaves, but he didn't. And I'm asking you, why didn't he do that? I'm not asking you about other laws. I'm asking you, why didn't God tell them to not own slaves?
You just spent 10 minutes re-asking me the same fucking question.
Because you didn't answer the fucking question. You keep answering about other laws. I'm not asking you about other laws, dumbass. I'm not asking you about other laws, dumbass. I'm asking you about God's inaction.
Here, bro. Since you can't understand what I'm saying, let me say it very plainly to you. Since all the context and everything else I said jumped over your head, bro.
No, it didn't jump over my head. It didn't jump over my head. I understand the context. I understand the context. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk. I am going to let you talk.
Let me talk.
But my question is not about other context. My question is not about that. I understand the context. I understand that there are other laws in the Bible. I'm asking, why didn't God do something? I'm not asking about another law, bro. We're not asking about another law. We're not asking about more context. I understand the context. I get the context.
You were explaining something
I get it
for
already.
10 minutes, asked the question in the middle, I answered it, and now you're jumping
You
with
didn't
that.
answer the question.
The reason why
you said you mentioned other laws.
Bro, listen.
You mentioned other
You guys
laws.
are talking so I can talk.
I'm going to give you a chance. Okay. Let's bring it down. 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 Let's bring it down.
I know, bro.
Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. I got you. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down.
Trying to be like this.
Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Okay. Listen to what I'm saying. This is what I'm getting frustrated. Because you think, hold on, Cameron. I'm telling you, let's bring it down. Cameron, the reason why I'm getting frustrated is because I truly believe that you think you're answering my question. I truly think that you believe that. Hold on, Cameron. Just give me a chance. I truly believe that you think you're answering my question. I believe you. You think that you answered my question 3 times. I believe that you actually believe that. I truly think that. All right. I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you're trying to hold on. Wait. I don't think you're trying to be facetious with me. I really don't. You think you answered my question 3 times. Okay, I understand. You think you answered my question 3 times. I understand that, right? What I'm trying to tell you is that you actually didn't. You think you did, but you didn't. The question is not about other laws in the Bible. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking that God could have done something, but he didn't. And I'm asking you, why do you think that was? Why do you think he took this route and not another?
I don't know.
Okay,
like,
cool.
Like,
cool.
Bro,
no, that's cool.
Like,
that's cool. That's fine.
Wait,
that's fine.
Can I be honest though?
Go ahead.
I feel like there's like a bunch of there's a million different ways that he could have did anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I honestly just don't know. Like he could have did something. He could have tried to alter history and life a totally different way. And personally, bro, I feel like we still would have found something to like try and complain about.
Okay.
I think like it is a hard, hold on. But like just to speak about the Old Testament law and like the slavery thing in the Bible, like personally, my own perspective, like you know what I mean? Not just saying what everybody else thinks about it. Like you see it the way you do, but in my eyes, the way that I see is like with my understanding of what the Old Testament law was supposed to do to kind of guide people like morally, I find the grace in the law that he had on slavery compared to how everybody else was doing it. But not only to that, but to understand that those countries who didn't have the blessing of God at the time that were around Israel, for him to still be so gracious in the way that he was judging them through slavery and through the wars and everything else like that, for the reason that God even gave Israel the laws and how to do all that stuff, I find the grace of God in that way. Because like, yeah, bro, it sucks, but it's like, it's necessary. Like, it sucks to say, but sometimes, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
It's not necessary.
It almost feels like it's necessary because eventually
it's
not necessary, but it's like, it's not, but it's like, when you look at everything else that there is out there in the world, like, you know what I mean? But see, like, where you're at right now morally, I would say we've gotten far because of those abolition Christians that I was talking about earlier. And that's a Christian thing.
All right, but it's not a Christian thing, bro, because the first people to abolish slavery in the West weren't even Christian. It was Haiti that abolished slavery in the West.
Right.
It didn't do it.
No, I never said they were the first. But like,
all right, but this one I'm trying to say. This one
South America. Well, no, Haiti's in the U.S.
Right, it's in the Americas. All right, so this one I'm trying to say. Like, okay, I get it. You don't know. All right, cool. You don't know. I don't know either. And that's exactly my problem. Because hold on, wait. It could have been for a million different reasons. I get it. However, slavery or this verse, we know what it was used to justify. We know what it was justified because they literally said so, that they're using this verse to justify their enslavement. If God is all knowing, he knew that they would have done that. So it doesn't seem to me that there'll be a reason to say to let them go through it unless he's a sadist and wants us to be enslaved. That would be kind of insane, right? But the other thing that I would say is that I don't see any grace in this, because it's like enslavement is never justified in my opinion. It's not gracious, and not only that, there are orders of genocide and pillage all over these books as well. So I'm not seeing how this is a grace for these nations to go through that for the Israelites to conquer them, enslave them, kill all the men, kill all the boys, and then keep all the girls and the women to themselves. I don't see how that's a
No,
grace
so
to these nations.
yeah, yeah. So what I was saying, I didn't mean like, I mean, right, because you could obviously just not let it happen. What I meant by gracious was like for God to be able to see what the nations around Israel were doing to the kids, to doing all this stuff, and then yet God going to Israel and being like, no, you're not going to do it that way. You know, because there's still laws like, right, like the things about taking like the female slaves and things like that. There's still laws that the Jewish people had to follow that wouldn't have allowed rape. So how you're understanding taking is a, like, I don't know where that translates or what the, like the, whatever the exegesis or whatever it's called on it is, but like, I also know though that there were laws in the old not raping.
I mean,
they were
that's
supposed to follow
literally
those
rape, bro.
laws as
Like
well.
the moment you take a war bride is rape. There's a reason why war brides are not legal in our
Well,
modern times.
But
Like
that's
for example,
right. But that's
that
that was like my point.
right, but
Well, that was my point.
but what Cameron,
But it's
I
like
want you to understand something.
understanding,
But
seeing how to
Cameron,
understand
Cameron,
things,
hold on,
but
Cameron. I want you to
yeah.
understand something. In our modern days, in our modern times, you cannot take a war bride. Yeah, I mean, in our modern times, like a military can't occupy a city, take one of the women as a bride, as a captive, and then as a bride. You can't do that in our modern times. The reason why we can't do it in our modern times, per the Geneva Convention, is that we view that as rape. There's no consent there. And the thing is, if God is all knowing, he would have known that too. So, but he gives them rules on how to do it. Yeah, I mean, so it seems like this God is going on whatever the culture is at the time. I understand that the culture of the time didn't really view that as immoral, right? We get that, but my issue is not really with the people doing it; is with the God telling them that they can.
Yeah, I understand that, but so like to my understanding and everything that like I read or whatever, it's like it kind of comes to understanding God is like the author of life. You know what I mean? Like, and God having this master plan to build everything out, like, and how he did it. So it just kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like, bro, there's a million different ways that he could have did it, but he did it this way. But to answer your question about like, to go back earlier on what you were saying about like, Christianity wasn't the first one to abolish it, it was hating. It's like, yeah, I just found out about this recently. My whole claim wasn't necessarily the first country that did it. Like being the first one to do it isn't, I mean, that's pretty big and that's pretty dope that they did. But my whole point was to throw on Christianity like there wasn't Christian thinkers and Christian believers that were trying to get rid of it. Like I seen something, but only, I mean, it's still a lot, but 400,000 slaves came from Africa, actually came to North America. You know how many, and not every person in the Civil War was Christian, not every whatever, but do you know how many like people died in the Civil War? Like 370.
Yeah, a lot
America
of people died.
lost, bro, almost one life for every slave took.
Correct.
And versus, I mean, granted, there were more slaves that died and stuff. I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like a lot of this stuff. Okay, can I ask you which? And this might be going off on a hinge, but I'm just curious, bro. What are you like? Not what are you like? Do you believe in like communism or like socialism and stuff like that?
I'm a socialist.
Not so, like a democratic socialist.
I'm a democratic socialist. Before we move on to that, I want to respond a little bit. Yeah, abolitionism was a thing, right? I don't disagree that there were abolitionists, and that Christian abolitionists largely led the abolition of slavery in the United States. I do get that. What I'm trying to say is that if we're going to give them the credit for being abolitionists, if we're going to give Christianity the credit for having abolitionists, we also have to give it the blame for having enslavers, don't we? Because they weren't just Christian abolitionists; they were also Christian enslavers. So what do we do with that?
Part of my well, the same way how like you're a socialist, right? And some of that's in communism. You might look at socialism and communism. You might argue, well, that's just socialism being done wrong. That's just communism being done wrong. It's the same fashion. And I say that's just Christianity being done wrong. And part of that is because when you look in the New Testament and you see what the fruits of the Spirit are, what the fruits of having the Holy Spirit and believing in Christ are, brother, there's nothing bad in any of that. Like there's nothing bad in any of that. Self-control, being loving, kind, being all these things. So to my point, that's what I would say to you.
Can you do that without the Bible?
Every example, huh?
Can you do all that without Christianity?
What do you mean?
Everything that you just said, being loving, being kind, etc., etc. You can do that without being a Christian, right?
It's not. Well, I mean, yeah, because everybody's capable of doing it. That's why God is just in judging us, because everybody's capable of doing it.
Right.
But,
so if everybody's capable of doing this, and you don't need to be a Christian to do it, I'm not sure why we're giving Christianity credit for all this.
Because Christianity brings everything down to the fine pinpoint line. Like if you take Hinduism and Buddhism and some of their virtue ethics, right? Hinduism and Buddhism are starting to, they claim to this virtue ethic or this virtuous idea that comes from a deity, but yet they all believe that some of them all are parts of the deity. So like the wing of authority. Okay. So my whole point was Christianity kind of brings everything together to the fine line. It's like to understand you can see justice, you can see law, you can see order, you can see love, and you can see forgiveness and all these things, right? But it's all based on like one deity deciding it to be, which Christians believe makes it objectively true.
Wait. So let me understand this then. You're saying that because Christianity is monotheistic, therefore the other ones don't have as good virtue ethics as Christianity does? Because
morality then becomes subjective to what each person wants to say, because it is.
Morality is always subjective. Even if the Christian God exists, morality would still be subjective because it's subject to that God.
But that's my issue. Is it always wrong to kill somebody?
No.
Yes. Is it always wrong to lie to somebody?
No.
Yes. To kill or to murder? Okay. Is it always wrong to murder somebody? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Is it always wrong to lie?
No.
Yes. Is it always wrong to steal? Yes.
No.
In your day-to-day, yes, bro.
It's not always wrong to lie.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
If someone wants to put a cup to commit a drive-by on your house, should I lie to them and tell me I don't know where you are? Yeah, I'm gonna lie to them.
I'm not sure.
As a matter of fact, even in the Bible,
I see what you're saying. All right.
Yeah, even in the Bible, someone got blessed.
Yeah,
for lying.
Rahab the prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rahab the prostitute of Jericho. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, okay. I would have to retouch up on my Old Testament and how that was applicable, because it's like the same thing with "Thou shalt not kill." The understanding of it is "Thou shalt not murder." It's probably something like that, but like in the basic like day-to-day life sense, you know what I mean? Like you're talking to somebody just casually, your girlfriend or your boy, it's wrong to lie. It's, you know, like
yeah,
all
if you're talking casually, you're not gonna always lie. Yeah, but it's
right.
But I was just answer your question if it's always wrong to lie. No, it's not always wrong to lie.
Yeah, probably not like right, and that's what I'm saying. I gotta go back and understand that part, but like in the general sense, you know what I mean? Not in like the most extreme situation, but like in just your general day-to-day.
I got you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like,
I understand that part. Yeah,
my whole point,
not preferable.
right? So my whole point is morality is coming from this kind of basis standpoint because of God. If everybody believes that they're in God, then everybody gets to decide what their morality is, and that's dangerous.
Not necessarily though, because in this little conversation we had about lying, you understand that there's exceptions. Yeah, I mean, and if we're gonna go on an issue of there's no exceptions.
I said exceptions in the extreme. I said exceptions in the extreme.
Right.
To be more specific.
So there's exceptions in the
it's
extreme.
Not necessarily just
right. So
right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what subjective morality is all about. We give exceptions.
But maybe at a very like baseline or fringe of it, but ultimately that's not what the bulk of what subjective morality is.
Right, that's not the bulk of what it is. I agree. That's not the bulk of what it is. But for the most part, for things that are egregious that people don't find, not preferable to their lives, such as lying or thievery or harm or things like that, we understand that there's exceptions. There's degrees of harm there. Like we would say that stealing is wrong, right? But I'll give you two situations of stealing. Someone breaks into my house, ties up me and my wife, steals my TV, and beats me the fuck up and runs outside, right? We're probably going to send that person to jail if we catch them. However, if there's a 7-year-old who steals a lollipop from the corner store, we're probably not going to send that 7-year-old to jail, are we? I mean, so like there's different degrees of harm.
Right. So there's this. It's crazy, dude. Because I just read this in Proverbs the other day. It was about like man will look at the hungry thief better than he will the one who does and doesn't come back and basically give back. I might be totally chopping it up, but it's somewhere around in Proverbs 6. But to my point, what I was saying earlier, it's like, and we can go on and on about Islam, but Islam holds Muhammad as the most moral example for mankind ever.
I know.
He was
and
a
he's not.
caravan robber. He was sleeping with 9-year-olds. He was doing all this stuff.
Agreed.
Their morality is now subjective to how Muhammad's behaviors, actions were, because that's just what their belief is.
No, they are. And
That's
his
insane, dude.
and his it
That
is
can't
insane.
be compatible.
In his time, I get the criticism over subjective morality. What I was saying is that all of us kind of operate this way, because we kind of have to. Even if a God were to exist, it would still be subjective.
Ultimately, he is the supreme judge. Yeah, I mean, I would say, because I mean, he did allow Rahab, right?
Yeah. All right. So Cameron, we're like past our time limit now, so I gotta move on to the next caller. Man. I do apologize, but
hey,
I appreciate you call back in. All right.
Can I say one thing though?
Sure.
Yeah, bro. Hey, can I say one thing, bro?
Sure.
Whatever these people tell you, bro, Christians will never throw you off a building for being gay, and we don't want to kill you, bro.
There are Christians in Haiti that kill people. There are Christians in Haiti that kill people. There are Christians in Africa that rape lesbian women and kill.
As a democratic socialist, if you guys continue to kind of get in bed with these Islamists, they will screw everything up.
Who's the Islamists? What are you talking about?
They will. Abdul Saeed, Zohran Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani is not Islamist.
Ilhan Omar.
Zohran Mamdani is not Islamist.
Okay, Islam.
It's not. They're not Islamists, bro.
Hold on. Ilhan Omar, all these people, bro.
They're not Islamists.
Just be careful, bro.
They're not Islamists, bro.
Just be careful.
Hold on. Cameron, listen to me. Are you gonna say that just because someone is Muslim, therefore they hate us and want to take over the world? Just because they're Muslim?
Bro, what did we just say about what they thought about morality with Muhammad? That is their best moral example.
I'm just asking you a quick question, Cameron. Cameron,
yeah, bro.
Would you say that just because someone is Muslim, they're a crazy person who wants to slit our throats and take over the world?
The Muslims.
I just need you to answer that question, Cameron.
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay,
I do.
You're a bigot. You need to do better. All right, guys. No more calls. I have one last person. I'm gonna get out of here because I've been on here for 2 hours and 30 minutes. All right, Soldier. Sorry about that, Soldier. Soldier, how's it going? Are you at least 18 and Christian, Muslim, or Hebrew Israelite?
Yeah, it's all good, man. What's going on? I'm 33 and I'm a Christian.
All right, 33 Christian. I don't think that black people should be Christian. Why do you think we should be?
Well, I think people should be Christian because Christianity is the truth. That's why they should be Christian.
How do we show that Christianity is the truth?
Well, we show that Christianity is the truth by looking at what Christianity presents. It presents itself in actual history. For one, Jesus Christ, a real figure, lived crucified under Pontius Pilate. The Old Testament, New Testament, rooted in first century Judaism. We have real people, real places, real events that can be correlated to the Bible.
Soldier, we know that there are real places, real people, real events in the Bible. There are real places, real events there are real places, real people, and real events in the Quran too. But you're not Muslim. So that doesn't tell us the truth of the matter. The claims of Christianity of Jesus rising from the dead, that can't be shown to be historically true. Like Muhammad splitting the moon in half, that can't be shown to be true either. Yeah, I mean, so the issue is more of the supernatural claims, not whether the people existed. I'm fine with Jesus existing as a person. Did he walk on water though?
Yeah, we're talking about why Christianity is true, and we're establishing because it's rooted in history. You know, the Quran makes claims that can be shown to be proven to be wrong. I mean, for one, they say that Jesus Christ didn't exist, and we know that he did.
We know Jesus existed, right? But the Bible also makes claims that can be proven to be untrue as well.
Well, no, I mean they can't be proven to be untrue. The Bible is the truth.
No, it can't be proven to be untrue. Noah's Ark never happened.
No, we have so much evidence of Noah's Ark. It's unreal. Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We have we have marine life on top of mountaintops. We have
plate tectonics.
We have fossil graveyards where land and sea creatures are violently mixed together. We have polystrate fossils, trees that are standing upright.
Yeah,
for
because
millions
they
of
got
years while the
fossilized.
sediment layered over it, which is pretty
They got
impossible.
fossilized.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, when a tree stands up like that and the sediment slowly forms over it, the top of the tree would have decayed by that time. Like over millions of years, the top of the tree would have been dead. How does it stay like that? It only stays
Talk
like
to a
that.
geologist. I don't know.
Fossilized, all of that sediment was
You gotta
deposited at
talk
one
to
time.
you gotta talk to a geologist. I wouldn't know. But you're
Well, I'm showing the
claiming
evidence right
hold
here.
on, but that's not evidence of a flood. When was the flood supposed to happen?
Yes, it is.
Soldier. When was the flood supposed to happen?
I mean, what, roughly like 4,000 years ago, something like that. I don't
You
know,
realize you
something
have a
like that.
problem, right? Immediately, right?
How's that?
There were civilizations that existed at that time and did not get interrupted.
And how do we know that?
We have their writings.
Okay, so what do the writings date to? What writings are we talking about? What evidence do you have?
The Chinese civilization has existed for roughly 6,000 to 7,000 years. And we know they did because they wrote it down and we can date it to that time.
Okay, so
there's
what are we looking at?
And there's no interruption in their culture.
So what exactly is that? What writings are you talking about?
I'm talking about like their ancient pottery, ancient Chinese scripts, ancient Chinese writing.
Like what? Like give me an example.
Example of what?
Give me an example of something that that contradicts the flood story.
Yeah, China.
You're just naming stuff, and you're it's kind of vague. You're just saying, well, we have
I'm not naming anything
pottery,
vague. I'm not naming anything vague.
Automatically
okay, cool. Let's talk about
flood
ancient
didn't
Egypt.
happen.
Do you realize ancient Egypt existed 4,000 years ago, right?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, of course it did. Yes,
It did.
I mean,
Yeah, they don't have a flood
Yeah.
story. There's no interruption in their civilization.
yeah, we have a bunch of. I think we have over 300 flood stories across civilizations that
And
talk about
none of them
flood
match up. Here's the funny thing about that, soldier. Guess where all these flood stories supposedly take place? Guess where all they happen? They all happen near a body of water, like a river or a lake. All of the flood stories, hold on, every single one of them take place near a river, a lake, or somewhere like a gulf, like near some large piece of water. And we know that rivers, we know that lakes, we know that large bodies of water, they flood.
Okay, so how do you know specifically? How do you know that they're all tied to a body of water and not a global flood?
I looked them up.
You so trust your advice and not what the evidence shows? Is that what you're telling me?
The only
Because
evidence
what we
that you
have
just
is
said, soldier, hold on. The only evidence you said is that there are hundreds of flood stories all over the world. Yes, there are hundreds of flood stories all over the world, and all of them take place near a body of water. All of them.
Well, that's not the only evidence I said, but I also said that we have over 300 civilizations that talk about a global flood story. Whether the details of those stories are true is a separate conversation. What we have is a unanimous decision that a global flood happened.
Number one, not all of them have a global flood story. The Chinese flood story is not global. The Japanese flood story is not global
I'll
either.
give you that. I'll give you that a few of them may be global or this or that. But what we have is across 300 civilizations or something like that. We have them talking about a global flood happening.
Okay, which civilization?
Well, we can look them up. I mean, let me go back to my notes real quick. But while I'm looking that up, like I said, fossil graveyards, marine life on top of mountaintops, polystrate fossils are all evidence of the flood. Plus
Marine
the
life on
Bible's-
top of mountains is because of plate tectonics, my guy.
Yeah, how do you think those fossils got there?
Because the mountains used to be underwater because of plate tectonics. You understand that mountains are plate tectonics, right?
Yes, I understand that.
All right. So if these things were
whenever the
underwater
flood-
and these plates do this, that means they're going to lift, and the creatures that used to be underwater are now on top of a mountain, and they're going to fossilize there.
Yes, rapid fossilization would have had to have happened, right?
No.
Yes, it would have.
No.
You have a
You understand
flood.
that plate tectonics move at 2 centimeters per year, which means that when creatures die and moving at 2 centimeters per year, by the time they get to like over here, they're already fossilized. Like
Yeah, so you realize that when
this takes a long time.
You realize that when those plate tectonics meet, it's a violent process, right? It's not just a simple, oh, we're just going to start moving up. It would have.
It's a violent process.
So-
We understand it's a violent process, but the violent process is not happening in a matter of days. It happens in a matter of millions of years.
Okay, so my question is, now that we've established it as a violent process, why are all the fossils in pristine condition? Why are none of them mangled and destroyed? If it was,
because you understand how fossilization happens, right? Things get buried.
Yes, it's
on top of
rapid,
the
right?
nets. No, it's not rapid.
If it wasn't rapid and it's a violent process, it would have destroyed those.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go ahead and get out of here, man, because like this is taking too long. So I'm gonna get out of here. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. We're gonna go ahead and get out because I'm tired. I'm hungry. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thanks for being part of the show. If you're watching me over on the Deconstruction Junction, I appreciate you watching me on Deconstruction Junction. You guys are amazing. You're wonderful. Love you all. If you're watching me over on the Bash channel, once again, thank you all on the Bash channel for being here and supporting the channel. Thank you so much. And if you're watching me over on Volsy Thoughts, once again, thank you so much. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, y'all. I just gotta go ahead and get something to eat. See, I'm not gonna put any of my faith in Jesus. Jesus sucks. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are wonderful, and as I always say, be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, and be trustworthy. Everybody be soft. Every man should be soft. Thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all have a good night. All right. Peace.